Rather a pinch of the rosin bag to get some sticky on the fingers. Now back up against the first base side of the rubber. He'll slide over to the third base side to deliver the 1-1 pitch to Ogden. Check swing, did he go? He did not. 2-1. Fastball was well outside. And Ogden has worked his way into a hitter's count. The anxious fans trying to will their way to this final out. 2 on, 2 out. Ninth inning, 3-2 cards. The 2-1 from Cutts. Outside. And it's 3-1. Cutts again tries to get them feel on the rosin bag. Looks over to second base to the runner. Right foot on the third base side of the slab. With 2 out and 2 on. The 3-1 pitch to the leadoff man, Ogden. Fouled straight back. And we are a strike away from the penultimate dog pile of the baseball season. Two on, 2 out, 3-2 Cardinals. The payoff pitch from Brennan Cutts. In the air, center field. Moore is under it. And on to Omaha for the Cardinals. The dog pile is a classic to the left of the mound. Colin Mowry out of the bullpen, the final man to join. Lucas Moore secures the fly ball to center. And the Louisville Cardinals will make their 6th trip to the College World Series. Peeling players off of each other. Brennan Cutts trying to catch his breath at the bottom of the dog pile. And the Louisville Cardinals are in the Elite Eight of the baseball world. Look at Justin West. Sheer elation. And in some cases, the body language of disbelief as these Louisville Cardinals make that trip to the promised land. And Chris Dominguez and Dan McDonnell engaged.
Grew up east of LA in Glendora. Big swing and a miss. A slider elevated towards the outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just like they did yesterday, UCLA getting pressure on the base paths against UTSA. But Miles trying to get out of it. And gets a foul ball straight back into the screen. Jammed him as he brought that fastball in off the plate. Still 2-2 against Salgado.
Yeah, and that last pitch, Stuckey, the catcher for the Roadrunners, was set on the outside. This one ended up a little bit in. So a foul ball off the handle at 92. So Salgado up on the plate, protecting with 2 strikes.
Miles looks at first, comes home, and struck him out swinging. An elevated fastball at 93, the fastest pitch of the first inning from Connor Miles, and he blows it by Salgado to strand a pair. 2 hits and 2 left for UCLA. The Bruins come up empty in the top of the first.
Yeah, and I mean, that was just pretty textbook come from behind, just staying in the game if you're Connor Miles. Look, he gave up a couple of hits, that runner in scoring position, and that error in center field, and he didn't let any of that affect him, and that's a good way to start the game for the Roadrunners. Again, remember, best of 3 series. They have to win today, and by keeping UCLA off the board, letting their own offense do some work, then hopefully as they get into the dugout here, Pat Hallmark and the Roadrunners, they want to get on the board as quickly as they can.
Well, let's get you that UTSA lineup. No score as we go to the last of the first, and the Roadrunners, the home team here in LA today. Their record now 47-14 after yesterday's ball game, and they're going to tweak their lineup a little bit today. Norris McClure will hit in the leadoff position today. He was down in the 3 spot yesterday, but the third baseman will get it going for the Roadrunners, and that puts Mason Lytle in the 2 spot. He has primarily been at the top of the lineup throughout the season. So it's McClure and then Lytle, and now it's James Tausig hitting in the 3 spot, playing in right field. Moresi, the first baseman, sticks in the cleanup position. Then it's the left fielder, Caden Miller. Drew Detlefson, who has played a healthy amount of left field this year, was nicked up recently. He is now back in the lineup today, and he has swung the bat well. Their home run leader is the DH, hitting in the 6th spot. Then it's the shortstop, Ty Hodge. Jordan Ballin, the second baseman, no longer hitting in the 9th spot. He is hitting 8th in the lineup today. And Andrew Stuckey, the catcher, rounds out the order for the Roadrunners. They're going to take on Landon Stump for UCLA. The sophomore right-hander at 6'3", 195 will make his 17th start of the year. He is 6-1 with a 4.80 ERA, 57 strikeouts, over 36 walks, coming in 69 innings of work, and teams are hitting .250 against him. And one key note, when Stump can give UCLA at least 4 innings, the Bruins are 10-1 in those games.
Now you like the odds of that, and he's been their Sunday starter throughout the season. Definitely more of a pitch-to-contact guy, and he references that fastball, slider, and changeup in his repertoire. That fastball sitting around 91 to 94. And so we'll see what his velo's at, but mixing pitches is the name of the game.
First pitch to McClure. A half swing and a miss on a fastball down and away for strike 1. A Stump last weekend against Arizona State in the regional, just 3 innings, 2 runs on 2 hits with 2 walks and no strikeouts. This time misses inside with a changeup, 1 ball and 1 strike to McClure, hitting .354 on the season. He was 1 for 4 in yesterday's game, and looks at a pitch diving low. Slider there from Landon Stump, 2 balls and a strike.
And immediately, all 3 pitches that Stump has, he's thrown them here early in these first 3 to Norris McClure.
And this one fouled down the left field line and out of play. Another changeup coming towards the inside and elevated. And the count evens 2-2 as McClure leads off the last of the first. No score here in LA.
And one last key here for UCLA is keeping the base on balls, the free passes off the table. They do that, they'll be successful against a team that likes the free pass.
Defense shaded to pull against the left-handed hitter, and now a full count as Stump missed that way outside. Looked like a slider that just never broke and finished in the right-handed batter's box.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he didn't turn his finger over enough on the pitch, and so that spin, it sort of just, loosely went off of his hand.
Now the 3-2, and there's a flare down the left field line. It's falling and drops. And McClure hustling around first. He's going to get to second. A leadoff double for UTSA. UCLA playing the left-handed hitter to pull. And that one jammed him in on the hands, but able to plunk it into a soft spot of the defense.
Yeah, not a double that's beating you with a lot of exit velo off the bat or anything like that, but it was a changeup, 6-pitch at bat, and he, again, dumps it over third base, past Roman Martin into shallow left field, so runner in scoring position here. And this is kind of what we saw in yesterday's game where UTSA was aggressive early, and we'll see how they do for the rest of the top of the lineup.
Well, UTSA was retired in the first inning yesterday on 5 pitches, and that was with a home run from Lytle, who's now at the plate. That was just a 6-pitch at bat to McClure. Slider outside for ball 1 to Lytle. A solo home run on the second pitch of the game yesterday is only hit 1 for 4. Played at Oregon for a little bit before coming to UTSA. Also played some JUCO ball. That one off the outside, not close, 2-0. Stump well off the plate and trying to refocus here. 2-0 to the best hitter in the lineup for UTSA, Lytle.
Yeah, and kind of right off the bat on those first 2 pitches, you see that his windup is a little bit different when he throws that changeup, a little bit of a tip that he's throwing it off speed.
2-0. There's a fastball right at the knees, a called strike. 2-1 to Lytle. Top 5 in the nation with 97 hits on the year. He is one of the toughest in the country to strike out as well. Grounds that one softly up the third base line, and it is foul. Went off his foot as it was picked up by Roman Martin. We get the foul call from plate umpire Eric Gaucher. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes at the plate.
And a good job to fight back into that count. Remember, this started on the 2-0. Back into the zone with 2 fastballs. Still that runner on second base. Phoenix called, the second baseman for the Bruins, playing behind the bag to cover. So a lot of room open on the right side of the infield here for Lytle.
Right-handed hitter at the plate. Waiting on a 2-2 from Stump, who checks the runner, comes home, swing and a foul tip held on. Got him with the slider. And there is a strikeout of one of the toughest in the nation. Lytle put down for the first out in the first inning.
And a really big strikeout, but a well-executed slider right on the outside part of the plate. And that's exactly where catcher Cash Duggar was setting up for that pitch, and he was able to hit that target. A big first out against the Roadrunners.
Good response after the leadoff double for McClure. 0-0, bottom half of the first. That runner still on second for James Tausig. And there's a turn and a lob of a throw back to second. Chalowski now holding on the runner with a lefty at the plate. Tausig, a towering player at 6'6", 230 pounds. Quiet yesterday, 0 for 4, but had a big regional in Austin last weekend. Was the most outstanding player. And that's a foul ball. Hit the knob of the bat as he dropped the hands there on that changeup coming inside from Stump. It's 0-1. Tausig, .351 with 10 home runs and 65 driven in on the year. And OPS just north of 1,000. 0-1 pitch. Fastball well off the plate. A ball and a strike. McClure on second, 1 away in the home half of the first.
And the outfield for the Bruins playing pretty deep, slightly for the pole, but playing just shy of the warning track, actually.
Here's the pitch. Fastball lifted in the air to center. Coming in is Brennan. He's got a beat, settles, makes the catch. McClure trots on back to second. It's back-to-back outs recorded by Stump. Now 2 gone in the first inning.
And he went back to the fastball there on that 1-1 count. Tausig gave it a pretty good ride. Now, in terms of the wind here at Jackie Robinson Stadium today, not really a lot to talk about there. It is 71 degrees and overcast, so we'll see if the ball carries as, you know, that marine layer kind of burns out as we get into the afternoon. But a lot of opportunity here with that runner in scoring position to get up for a 1-0 lead.
Classic June gloom here today so far. Lorenzo Moresi bounces the first pitch foul on the first base side. The clouds are starting to dissipate a bit as you look north towards the hills. You can see a little bit of blue there on the horizon line. So that sun is starting to peek through, but on my drive in this morning at around 10 a.m., had some water droplets on the windshield. There's so much moisture that rolled in overnight. 0-1 to Moresi. Fastball outside, a ball and a strike. Moresi 1 for 4 yesterday. The senior out of Macerata, Italy. Left-handed hitter. Takes inside. Fastball at 93 miles an hour. That's about as fast as Stump will go. And a little bit of arm side run there, but couldn't get it back over the plate. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Good pitch, just missed the inside part.
Now the 2-1. Just outside. Went to the slider and missed it. A little bit elevated as well. And Moresi ahead 3-1.
These are all good misses. They're not that far away from the zone. He does have a base to play with open at first.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase inside as that slider dove in off the plate. Now the count is full.
That's the second pitch where he's gone to that inside part of the plate. Got it right under his hands with 2 strikes and a full count. He does have a base to play with again, so some room to work with.
Now the payoff pitch. Bounce to the left side. Martin backhands it. Now rifles the throw. Got him in time. And that'll end the inning. A leadoff double left stranded by UTSA. Roman Martin, for all we talk about Rock Chalowski at shortstop, Roman Martin has been equally impressive throughout the year at third base.
I mean, that was an in-betweener hop, hit pretty hard on the ground. So just to get the backhand on that and then throw it all the way across the diamond, 120 feet, that left side of the infield for UCLA is one of the best in the country.
He had a couple incredible throws yesterday from deep behind the bags, and another impressive play there to help keep UTSA off the scoreboard. We go to the second here in LA. 0-0 between the Bruins and the Roadrunners.
NCAA Super Regional games taking place today. Taking a look around the nation, we do have two finals already. Arizona topping North Carolina. Arizona winning 4-3. Also, Louisville taking a big win over Miami, winning 3-2 as we head on the road to Omaha. Here we go. Top of the second, leading on for UCLA. Center fielder number 11, Peyton.
UCLA and UTSA scoreless as we advance to the second inning. Bruins coming to the plate with Peyton Brennan, Toussaint Bythewood, and Cash Duggar due up against the left-hander Connor Miles for UTSA. Now 3 tickets have been punched for Omaha. Get you some of those updates momentarily as Peyton Brennan gets hit on a first pitch curveball, clipping his elbow as it came sweeping across, and the Bruins have the leadoff man aboard.
And that's a free pass that UTSA does not want to continue to have happen in terms of, for Peyton Brennan at least. I mean, he's done a pretty good job of inducing, well, walks are certainly hit by pitches. That's just his 9th hit by pitch on the season, but a big runner on first with good speed.
And UCLA collectively 9th in the nation when it comes to getting hit by pitches at the plate. And now here is Toussaint Bythewood getting his 3rd start of the season as the DH. And he takes a pitch on the outside corner. A fastball paints the black for Miles, 0-1.
And a little bit on the corner, maybe a little bit on the edge, but as we figure out the zone from Eric O'Shea, that might be the standard.
Now a fastball is over the plate for a called strike 2. Quickly 0-2 against Bythewood, who has 4 hits and 12 at-bats this season. Last time he started was in the regular season finale against Northwestern. Went 1 for 3 as the DH in that one. And now he chops one foul. Slightly pulled. And the count still 0-2 against Bythewood. Junior, who grew up in Encino, went to Harvard Westlake, and has been a pretty consistent bench player for UCLA in his time here. 12 starts as a freshman. A little bit less than that last year as a sophomore, but always a pinch running option as well. Inside outs this one, foul. Right near first base, Coach Griffin Barnes. No flinch from him, though, just slightly leaned out of the way.
Nice, cold-blooded.
So Bythewood making Miles work a little bit, protecting down 0-2. This will be the 5th pitch of the at-bat with no score and a runner on first. No outs, top of the second. 0-2, high and away, an easy take to get the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fastball missing.
Pretty steady diet of fastballs. Actually, only that foul ball that Bythewood hit to the right side was on a slider, but went back to the fastball with 2 strikes.
Miles looks to first, comes home, and the curveball struck him out swinging. Back foot breaking ball, well done by Miles. It's his 2nd strikeout.
And a good job of changing speeds, as you mentioned, the second strikeout of the game. And as we take a look at this one more time, he really gets over the top of it. A 12-6 movement with a slight lateral movement in towards the right-handed Bythewood. That was the first curveball of that at-bat. Hadn't seen that pitch, got him swinging.
So 1 on, 1 out now for the catcher, Cash Duggar. 1 for 4 yesterday for the Bruins. Another left-handed bat. And there's a curveball that is there on the outside corner, strike one. That curveball has been a very good secondary pitch today so far for Miles.
Yeah, we're definitely leaning on that to work off of his fastball as the main pitch.
0-1. There's a fastball, fouled. Brought it in on the hands, and once again, Miles in front, 0-2.
And just generally for Miles, he's thrown 27 pitches so far, 21 strikes. So he's been in the zone, and he's also been in the zone on the first pitch, which is basically as advertised.
Middle infield at double play depth against Duggar. 0-2. Curveball up the middle, past the pitcher, behind second. It's Hodge flipping to the bag for one, and they've got Brennan just in time. Well, the middle infield right where they needed to be to get the lead runner. Duggar is aboard on the fielder's choice. Pretty good contact, but as it hit the mound, definitely slowed up that baseball a little bit, allowing Hodge to make that play. And Ballin covering there at second had to extend his arm out. It was not a toss with much velocity on it from Hodge, so Ballin went to the ball to bring it in for the out. So Duggar on first, now 2 outs for Phoenix call. And that is low, ball one. Well, Louisville knocked off Miami 3-2 in game 3 in their Super Regional. So the Cardinals have joined Arizona and Coastal Carolina as the first 3 teams to go to the College World Series. Fastball, grounded foul up the third base line, 1-1 now to Phoenix call. So all those teams, they're on the left side of the bracket. You'll have Arizona and Coastal Carolina play each other in the first game. And then Louisville will get the winner of tonight's ball game between Oregon State and Florida State. That's a game 3 up in Corvallis. 1-1 to call. The pitch. Inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Trying to stay in on Phoenix call here. One thing to note for UCLA's offense so far, aside from those couple of strikeouts that were swinging, all outs have been on groundouts.
No score, top of the second with the Bruins at the plate. And the 2-1 to call, swung on and missed. Fastball right on the outside at 90 miles per hour and call right through it. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Miles looks to work around that leadoff hit batter. Runner on first, 2 away. And out of the stretch, the 2-2 pitch. Curveball just missed the inside. UTSA can't believe it. Miles is halfway off the mound with his mouth agape to not get the call from plate umpire Eric Gaucher.
I mean, even Stuckey, the catcher, this one was, it ended up right down the middle.
That probably should be strike 3.
Probably should. So a bit of a gift for the Bruins. And now a full count, 2 outs, so that runner on first will be in motion.
And called, just a flexed foul off the end of the bat.
So maybe early we're seeing a little bit of inconsistency from that zone from Eric Gaucher, the home plate umpire. Couple of pitches in the last half inning, but certainly this one was unmistakably strike 3, would you say?
I agree. I think so. I do not disagree with Miles, but that was quite the reaction. His mouth agape as he looked at the umpire. Now a fastball in on the hands is lifted in the air to center. Well in the yard for Lytle, who makes the catch, and the side retired. Leadoff hit batter left stranded by UCLA. Middle of the second in Los Angeles. It's the Bruins 0 and UTSA 0. No score just yet between UCLA and UTSA. We go to the last of the second. The Roadrunners coming to the plates. One other final to note, Murray State walloped Duke today 19-9, forcing a Game 3 in Durham tomorrow. Winner of this series and the winner of that series meet to open things in Omaha next weekend. So Duke with a comfortable win in Game 1. Murray State comes back with a 10-run victory today, so we will have at least one Game 3 played on Monday. UTSA trying to make it a second one as they look to get on the board first. And Landon Stump misses inside on the first offering to the left fielder for UTSA. That's Caden Miller, ball one. Miller 1 for 4 yesterday, but he was impactful when he got on base. Stole home in the second inning, and now he fouls this pitch right at home plate. So it's a ball and a strike as he leads off the last of the second.
And making good use of switching speeds up. Slider followed by changeup. Stump's got a 3/4 release. Works off the windup with no one on.
1-1, down and in from Stump. Went to the slider. And he's favored that pitch against left-handed hitters so far, but he's behind 2-1 against Miller. And that one is ripped to right field, base hit. Salgado will cut it off to hold Miller to a single. But the leadoff man aboard once again for UTSA. They are 2 for 2 in that department.
I mean, your point about Stump and that slider, he's actually thrown more sliders so far than he has fastballs. Of those 24 pitches that he's thrown, that was another slider, but he left it a little bit over the middle of the plate. And Caden Miller pulled that one to right field. AJ Salgado had to move down towards the right field line to get that one back in for a single.
So in the first inning, McClure had that leadoff double, and then Stump got 3 consecutive outs. Now it is Miller, a leadoff single here in the second. And that'll bring up Drew Detlefson, the DH today for UTSA. Did not play yesterday. Gruhl went 0 for 4 as the DH. And there's a slider lined and caught it short by Chalowski. Quick throw to first, but Miller on alert gets back to the bag to avoid the double play. But there is the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year with the quick reflexes to deny a hard hit ball by Detlefson.
I mean, that one was hit hard. Probably the hardest ball we've seen so far early on in this game, and Chalowski had to move a little bit to his left, spun around, threw it to first to maybe nab a double play on Miller, the runner at first base. A good heads-up play by Chalowski, playing back in the hole now at shortstop with 1 out.
Detlefson, the home run leader, retired on 1 pitch. Now here is Hodge. And there's a fastball up and in. No score in the second. 1 on and 1 out for the shortstop for UTSA, who was 1 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. Redshirt junior who grew up in College Station. 1-0 pitch to him is a fastball fouled back into the screen. A ball and a strike. Hodge's younger brother Nathan is a freshman on this team. Ty spent his freshman year at Texas A&M, right in his hometown. 14 games played there, then went to Houston Christian, got some more playing time there, including 50 starts last year. And now in his first year with UTSA, as he looks at a fastball above his head, right over the plate, but taller than Hodge, who's at 6'2". So it's 2-1 now.
Yeah, 3 straight fastballs as well. Didn't get that first one in and tried to get back in on that 1-1 count.
Now the pitch, swing and a foul. Some glancing contact there. He caught a piece of Duggar on another fastball. Count to 2-2. Clouds starting to dissipate further. Very thin layer overhead here as we inch toward 1 o'clock here in LA. Slight breeze out to center. Stumps 2-2. Fastball lifted back and out of play. So that is 5 fastballs in this at-bat against Hodge.
And very much sticking with it. Look, he's got 1 out. Obviously would love the double play. But if you've thrown 5 fastballs in a row, I think if you're Hodge in the box. You're looking fastball one more time.
Trying to get a ball pulled on the left side. Called the second baseman close to the bag. And that one is hammered right at Martin at third. He's got it out of the air. Throws wide to first. Miller diving back to the bag onto his feet. Will advance to second. An airmailed throw there by Roman Martin puts a runner in scoring position. So he makes the fantastic play, catching it to his left, and then hurried that throw, and it was not close. No chance for LaVue to get it. So UTSA will have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
I mean, both of these last 2 hit balls by UTSA have been the hardest balls we've seen all weekend, arguably, aside from maybe that home run ball from Mason Lytle. But Martin just airmailed this to the backhand side of LaVue at first base, and luckily only 90 feet. Was able to be getting there by Miller at second now.
RBI opportunity for Ballin, and he fouls off the first pitch fastball. So Ballin hitting in the 8th spot today after he was in the 9th spot yesterday. He has been that second leadoff guy for UTSA with his impressive on-base percentage, but 0 for 3 yesterday with 3 groundouts. And Miller now on second after the error. And that's high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yet another fastball from Stump. It's now 7 in a row, I believe.
Yeah, 8 in a row, actually. So in this inning, 8 of 13 of his pitches have been fastballs.
Trying to work around a leadoff hit for the 2nd consecutive inning. 1-1. Just missed the inside corner. Well, you had the curveball for Miles last inning not go the pitcher's way, and that looked to be right at the knees on the inside. And once again, the pitcher does not get the call.
Equal opportunity ump.
So it's 2-1 to the left-handed hitter. And the fastball is in there. 2-2 now. Took a little bit off that fastball, down at 90 miles per hour, right over the plate. And Stump a strike away from posting another 0. No score in the home half of the 2nd here in LA. Stump kicks and throws, and it's fouled off to the left. Yet another fastball from Stump.
Yeah, really continuing to use that fastball, and maybe that's an adjustment from that first inning where UTSA had some good contact. Well, certainly that double there on that first batter was on a changeup on a 3-2 count. So maybe that's a conscious adjustment. Usually Stump will leverage that slider.
Does he go to it here on a 2-2? Struck him out swinging. A foul tip held on by Duggar, and he did go to the slider to get the strikeout, his 2nd, and strand another runner in scoring position. 1 hit and 1 left for UTSA in the 2nd. We go to the 3rd. No score between the Bruins and the Roadrunners.
All right, fans. Let's do another fan check-in. Who is here to cheer on the Roadrunners? Make some noise. You are here to cheer on the Bruins. Get loud. I want to hear you. If you're cheering on UTSA, make some noise. And get loud for UCLA. And here we go.
On to the third inning in Los Angeles. No score yet between the Bruins and UTSA. The Bruins are a win away from Omaha. UTSA needs to win Game 2 and Game 3 to get there themselves. Top of the lineup here for UCLA with West, Chalowski, and Lavu to face the lefty, Connor Miles. And into his short windup, he deals inside to West for ball one. That fastball coming in front of the knees.
Yeah, now being the second time through the order, 35 pitches through that first time, and 6 for 9 first pitch strikes.
Now the 1-0. That's a called strike right over the plate. Another fastball from Miles, 1-1. This is one of two games currently going on in the country. Arkansas and Tennessee scoreless in the third, as the Hogs got game one yesterday in under 2 hours. Curveball down low, 2 balls and a strike.
That's crazy.
And we were done in under 3 yesterday.
Efficient baseball.
Love to see it. 2-1. And West chops it to the right side at Ballin. And he's got it ranging to his left and throws out West, who is now 0 for 2 on a pair of bounce outs to second.
Yeah, and both of those at-bats by Dean West were pretty short as well, which is not what you usually see. 3 pitches in his first at-bat, followed by 4 here. 2 hits for UCLA so far.
And each team with 2 hits and 1 error. Still looking for our first run of the game. UCLA had runners on the corners with 2 outs in the first. Left a pair on. Brock Chalowski, first pitch swinging. 1 hop to third. Behind the bag, McClure takes his time and he throws out Rock. 2 quick outs for Connor Miles and UTSA defensively here in the top of the third.
And maybe trying to swing a little bit earlier in the count. At least the Bruins, the second time through the order, being a little aggressive. But that's just 5 pitches so far and 2 outs.
Chalowski now 1 for 2 today. That'll bring up Lavu, who reached on a fielder's choice in his first at-bat, able to stay out of a double play. And now he swings and misses. Pitch down and in. Well-located fastball there from Miles, 0-1. Miles has typically been able to give UTSA at least 5 innings, and he's gone as long as 7. And looking good so far as he misses outside to Lavu. A ball and a strike. Could not locate that slider on the outside.
And a really good pitch. Lefty on lefty matchup, so that slider's moving away from Lavu in the box, who stands pretty close to home plate.
1-1 pitch is down low. 2 balls and a strike to Lavu as that one bottomed out. UCLA's first baseman with 11 batted in the NCAA tournament. 10 of those coming in the regional across 3 games. 2-1 breaking ball off the outside, and Lavu ahead 3-1 with the bases clear and 2 outs in the third. No score.
Yeah, and very much a different approach. That first at-bat, Lavu saw off-speed followed by fastballs the rest of the 3 pitches of that at-bat. This time, completely the opposite.
The pitch. Curveball on the inside. Full count now. Infield playing to pull. Not quite an overshift, but ball in the second baseman into shallow right field. Hodge, the shortstop, behind the bag at second. 3-2. Struck him out swinging with a fastball. Right by him at the belt at 93 miles per hour. It's a 3rd strikeout for Connor Miles as he sits down to UCLA in order for the first time today. Middle of the third in Los Angeles. It's UCLA nothing, UTSA nothing. Quality pitching so far here in Los Angeles as we advance to the last of the third inning. 0-0 between UCLA and UTSA. Game 2 of the Super Regionals here in Los Angeles. Bruins here for the 7th time in program history. Trying to get to Omaha for what would be the 6th time and the first since 2013. Meanwhile, UTSA, they have never been to the Supers before. They hadn't won an NCAA postseason game prior to last weekend. But they are 2 wins away from keeping their season going and going to Omaha for the first time. It's a program that only dates back to 1992. Here's the catcher, Stuckey, taking ball 1 off the plate from Landon Stump. Andrew Stuckey was hitting in the 7th spot yesterday, now at the bottom of the lineup today for the Roadrunners. And now he lifts the 0-1, back it out of play. Or excuse me, the 1-0. And so now it's a ball and a strike. Count even as Stuckey leads it off with McClure and Lytle to follow. Tucson native and a right-handed hitter at the plate. As Stump lobs in a slider on the outside, a called strike 2. And the right-hander works in front for UCLA. He's allowed a leadoff hit in each of the first 2 innings and then has gotten 3 consecutive outs. And there's a high fastball easily taken. That one well above the letters against Stuckey. 2-2.
Yeah, and a 1-2 count. You can afford to have a setup pitch. Went with the off speed, then back to the fastball up. So might go back down to that breaking ball away.
Here's the 2-2. Fastball struck him out swinging. Put it just off the plate. And at 94 miles an hour, blew it by Stuckey. That's the 3rd strikeout for Stump.
Yeah, Stump's been looking good 1 time through the order. Now at the top of the lineup coming up. He's thrown just over 42 pitches, 25 strikes. And one thing he can improve on here this 2nd time through the order is getting ahead on the first pitch. He's about half in that department 1 time through the order.
And now facing McClure for a 2nd time, who had the bloop double down the left field line. And he takes a strike on the outside corner, a changeup for strike 1. And UCLA playing the left-handed hitter to pull, both in the outfield and on the infield. A 1 fastball late, swing and a miss. McClure, as he caught, kind of had that wave of the bat over his head, and he just couldn't bring it all the way around in time and catch up to 94-mile-per-hour heat.
Yeah, and that's Stump at his best with 94 on the gun.
0-2. Struck him out swinging. Another fastball blew it right by him. Back-to-back Ks. In fact, that's 3 in a row for Stump going back to the 2nd inning. Pure heat from the sophomore.
And that was good morning, good afternoon, good night. I mean, that last pitch was a fastball. Kind of a challenge right down the middle, maybe at the belt, but he just couldn't catch up to it. McClure, just another good pitching performance so far by Stump.
First pitch is high and inside to Mason Lytle, who was the first strikeout victim of Stump back in the 1st inning. Lytle, the player of the year in the American Conference this season. Bounces a fastball up the middle. Call backhand from the grass. The throw not in time, and LeVoux couldn't pick it out anyway. I think Lytle would have beat it regardless on that bouncing ball up the middle. So a 2-out base runner for UTSA. Call doing all he can there.
I mean, that would have been a heck of a play. Kind of like Derek Jeter at shortstop, where he caught it sort of on the run with his backhand. Tried to make that throw by not even really planting his feet. He kind of was able to on the grass, and as he threw it, just maybe a short hop to Levi LeVoux, who was stretching all the way, almost doing the splits. And just a little bit too far out to get the scoop, but at least keeping it in the infield, and that'll be ruled a hit.
So a hit in each inning so far for UTSA. Lytle on first now for Tausig. And the left-handed hitter takes high and away. A pitch out there from Stump and the Bruins, but no throw down to first to check on Lytle, who is a threat to steal. He's got 17 of them this season, and with 2 outs, perhaps they try to run him here. LeVoux holding him on. 1-0 pitch is popped up on the right side. LeVoux in foul ground calling for it, and the first baseman makes the catch and the inning is over. Another hit and another left for UTSA. So far, it's been about the pitchers here in Los Angeles. After 3 full, UCLA and UTSA are scoreless.
Did you buy tickets you can no longer attend? We'll buy and sell with confidence at the NCAA Ticket Exchange. Enjoy the comfort of knowing tickets are authentic and 100% guaranteed. For more information, visit ncaa.com/exchange.
On to the middle innings in Los Angeles, and still in search of our first run. Game 2 between UCLA and UTSA. The Bruins getting game 1 yesterday, 5-2. The visiting team today, and an opportunity still to get that first run, but they need to figure out the left-hander for UTSA, Connor Miles, who's up to 3 strikeouts through the first 3 innings, and he's now retired 6 in a row, going back to the second inning.
Third baseman number 7.
2 hits for the Bruins. Coming back in the first inning, that's when they got a runner to third base, the only runner in scoring position they've had so far, and went down in order on just 11 pitches last time up in the third. Middle of the order, Martin, Salgado, and Brennan against the left-hander. And into a short windup goes Miles, and bounces that one in front of the plate for ball 1.
And maybe trying to stay soft with Roman Martin having some pretty solid contact to center field. That pitch was a slider that went 57 feet, bounced way in front of home plate. So you might see them try to nibble around the zone, especially to Martin.
And working through the lineup a second time. And that one right over the plate for a called strike. A fastball at 92. 1-1 to UCLA's third baseman. Martin now 9 for 20 in the postseason as he takes high and away. 2 balls and a strike.
And sticking back with the fastball right there. Slider, fastball, fastball. Now a 2-1 count.
Infield shaded to pull against the right-handed hitter. And the pitch is sent the other way. Base hit to right field. Leadoff single for Roman Martin. Just the 3rd hit of the game for the Bruins. And they've got the leadoff man aboard here in the 4th inning.
And kind of judging by how Martin took that fastball on 1-0, that was right down the middle, kind of had the feeling that he's sitting off speed, and that's kind of what he got on that last pitch, a changeup on the outside part of the plate, and he hasn't been afraid this postseason to take the ball the other way. And another well-hit ball with some tail on it to right field, and Tausig the one fielding that in right.
Sets up A.J. Salgado as the sun peeks through in earnest for the first time today. And there's a called strike on the outside, a fastball from Miles. I just saw a note that this is the first super regional game in 3 years to be scoreless through the first 3 innings. There's a throw to first, a low throw, but Moresi goes down and gets it. No tag applied with Roman Martin back to the bag standing. That was the first pickoff throw all game.
First pickoff, yeah, and even to your point about the score, and this is the first time, considering how high-powered these offenses are, I'm even more surprised.
Breaking ball, yanked to first. Moresi snags it, whips to second for 1. Hodge back to first. It's a double play. Well, these left-handed hitters for UCLA have been hitting these choppers onto the right side all game.
Yeah, they've been on top of the ball. Honestly, even yesterday, they were hitting a lot of choppers. This one to Salgado, he hit it right to that first baseman, Moresi. And again, yet another 3-6-3 double play, but this time, no challenge, of course. It was a pretty easy 3-6-3 double play.
Now that was Moresi, not Miles, who got back to the bag. So wipe away the leadoff single as Peyton Brennan takes the curveball high for ball one. Well, UCLA's been the team that turns double plays this year, the most in the nation, but UTSA getting one here in the fourth, no score. And the 1-0, big swing and a miss from Peyton Brennan, a fastball at the belt over the inner half. And Brennan right through it, a ball and a strike. Miles looking to face the minimum for the second consecutive inning. The pitch is hit well in the air to left field, but Miller got spun around. He can't locate it. It bounces up off the wall. Brennan to second will hold up there with a 2-out double.
And he kind of got all of that one as he took it opposite field to left field. Peyton Brennan, a left-handed hitter, and as he hit that ball, Miller, the left fielder, was actually looking over his left shoulder for this ball, but then that spin brought it back towards left field, toward the left field line, rather. And so he had to switch, his perception of this ball, and with that, that ball like one-hopped the fence. So a quick, easy double, and hey, if there was a little bit of a breeze, that one had a chance to get out of here.
His first step was in also, so that immediately put him in a bad spot. Then he had to spin around and never had a chance. And now an RBI opportunity for Bythewood. And the breaking ball is outside in the dirt for ball one. So the runner on second, 2 outs. Bythewood struck out swinging against Miles, his first time up in the second. And now a chance to right that and put UCLA in front. We will have a mound visit here for UTSA and get our first look of the weekend at Zach Butler, the fifth-year pitching coach who played at McNeese State and was a longtime assistant at Nichols. Bring the infield in along with the battery as well. It looks like a casual conversation. See a smile on the face of Zach Butler. Trying to help Miles get another 0 on the board and strand another base runner. The left-hander's been very good, and if Miller gets a beat on that ball, that's probably the 3rd out of the inning.
Oh, for sure, and I think that's why fundamentals are so important. I mean, if you're an outfielder, the one thing you're taught, certainly in the fall season and even all the way back when you're a kid, is first step always back because it's easier to run in. And to your earlier point about how his first step was in, thinking that might have been a bloop single, and it's just a step that can cost you.
Well, just based on the sound of contact alone, I think you had to figure that was not going to be a bloop single. It stands for a double, one hopping the wall. And good thing UTSA, for their part, to get that double play earlier, or else a run may have come across to score for the Bruins. 1-0 to Bythewood as we're ready to go. The pitch is sprayed foul, well off the right field line. Off speed there at the belt on the outside part of the plate. 1-1 to Bythewood. It's only the 14th at-bat of the season for Toussaint Bythewood. 1-1 pitch. Fastball fouled into the screen, 1-2.
And he's sticking with the fastball. Bythewood, 2 pretty good swings. That one was a 91-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside part of the plate, but both of those swings tell us that he's not afraid to take the ball the other way. And Ballin, the second baseman, was originally covering second base. Now he's back to give himself a little bit more range, but still a lot of room on the right side of the infield.
And he's not holding on Brennan right now. Now the pitch. That bounces in, blocked by Stuckey. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But that curveball in the dirt. And Bythewood just brought that bat ever so softly off the shoulder. Otherwise an easy take as Miles goes to the rosin bag before this 2-2 pitch. The lefty set, comes home. Fastball, line drive, base hit to right field. Brennan around third. Here comes the throw in from Tausig. It's not in time. Brennan slides in safely, and the Bruins grab a 1-0 lead in the 4th inning. Toussaint Bythewood, his 3rd start of the season, and he's got the RBI single.
And that's his 4th RBI of the entire season, but might be the most important one of the season. I mean, hey, it was just a fastball on the outside part of the plate. He took it the other way, and that was his approach that entire at-bat. And look, he didn't get a lot of contact on it, but hey, maybe barely barreled it. But that pitch was up in the zone, and hey, with 2 strikes, and he was in a swing-happy mood, that's an easy run.
And now speed on first in Bythewood as there's a throw over from Miles that is in the dirt, and Moresi, the first baseman, has to go down to the ground to get it and block it. Duggar at the plate. Runner on first, 2 gone as UCLA has taken a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 4th. Trying to get to Omaha with a win today. Called strike on the outside at the knee is the fastball in there from Miles. We'll remind you, UCLA 25-1 this season when they score first. Miles looks to first, another look that way, comes home. Curveball, ground ball to the right side, deep in the hole. Ballin's got it, shuffles to his left, and makes the play at first to retire Duggar, and that'll end the inning. Well, the Bruins are on the board first. A run on 3 hits with 1 left aboard. Middle of the 4th inning. It's UCLA 1, UTSA nothing.
Enhances NCAA championships and the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes.
UCLA has grabbed the lead here in Game 2 of the LA Super Regional. 1-0 Bruins as we go to the last of the 4th inning. UTSA will have the middle of the order. Moresi, Miller, and Detlefson against Landon Stump. It looks like he's getting better as this game has gone along. He's got 4 strikeouts through the first 3 innings, only 49 pitches thrown, and I think most importantly for Landon Stump, no walks.
He's been very good so far control-wise, and to your point, he's been doing a good job of mixing up that fastball and that slider and being able to get both of those pitches in for strikes.
Facing the left-handed hitting first baseman for UTSA, Lorenzo Moresi. And the fastball at the belt on the inside for a called strike. Moresi out of Italy. His parents run a grocery store. Here's the 0-1. And it's outside, a ball and a strike. Out of Macerata. And they stay up all hours of the evening to watch his ball games. This one is a little friendlier as he fouls it off 1-2. It's currently 10:13 in the evening there in Italy, so this is doable. They were up into about 3, 4 a.m. last night for Game 1 of this Super Regional. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A lot of crouch in his stance as he looks at a fastball high and outside, 2-2. His father, Walter, played baseball growing up, so that's how he got into it, despite growing up in Italy. Soccer country and probably basketball as well before he'd think about baseball there, but there's a good cut and a miss from Moresi. 2-2, going straight back to the backstop on the foul ball. He came stateside for college, spending a couple of years at New Mexico JC, and came to UTSA his second year with the Roadrunners. He leads off the last of the 4th. Bruins in front 1-0. Stump into his windup. 2-2 is fouled. Just a wave and a nice catch there in the UCLA bullpen. It's Chris Grotus who's been keeping himself loose and saw that one coming, made a clean catch out of the air.
I mean, talk about being alert. He's like, I'm going to get warmed up, but hey, got to keep one eye on the game.
So the 6th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. And on its way, down low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Change up there from Stump, and good eye there from Moresi to lay off. That was coming in at the knees until about 80% of the way home before it bottomed out.
Yeah, it was a good changeup, and he'll use that against lefties like Moresi.
3-2. Yanked foul on the ground, pulling it to the right side. And Moresi will see one more.
And he's been seeing basically the kitchen sink so far. Pitch number 9 coming up in the AB, but pretty steady mix of all 3 of his pitches.
Sun shining overhead now as he takes down and in on appeal to third. He did not swing, barely brought the bat forward. So it is a leadoff walk for UTSA, trying to answer UCLA's run in the top half of the frame. First walk issued by Stump, and that is now 3 times in 4 innings that UTSA has the leadoff man aboard.
Yeah, and also first walk to your point, and this is a team that has nearly 250 walks in this lineup alone this season. So especially getting that leadoff runner on, and especially Moresi, who has pretty good speed. He's 4 for 4 in stolen base attempts this year. They've got a chance to get back on the board and tie this game up.
Other left-handed hitter coming forward, Caden Miller. Slightly open stance as he waves that bat low. And now standing wider as Stump comes home and gets a called strike with a fastball at the top of the zone on the outside, in at 92 miles an hour. Strike 1. 1-0 UCLA in the last of the 4th. Infield shaded a pull, but Martin close to the line at third. Swing and a miss. That was a high changeup, and Miller went chasing. That was about even with his shoulders. 0-2.
It's not really where you want to put your changeup, but hey, a swing and a miss is a swing and a miss. So first pitch fastball, second pitch changeup. He could really go anything here with 2 strikes.
Runner on first, and no outs in the 4th. The pitch. And that is poked to short, backhanded by Chalowski. Throws to call it second for 1, on to first, not in time. So he went the other way there, and that meant UCLA had to cover a lot of ground in the middle infield because they were tilted to pull, and they did well to get the lead runner. Miller is aboard on the fielder's choice. That went off the end of the bat.
Yeah, and even Chalowski, as he went to his backhand to get that ball, there was actually a little bit of kick from the dirt as it got to him, so a good job of sticking with it. And Phoenix Call didn't have time to set for the return throw back to first, so he did it on the run. Pretty good defense, just couldn't quite get the 2.
So Miller replaces Moresi on first. 1 away for Detlefson, who lined out to short on 1 pitch in his first AB. And he takes high and away here, ball 1. Well, Detlefson has been the primary left fielder this year for UTSA. Got a little nicked up last weekend in the Austin Regional. Did not feature last night. Now in there today. Is the co-newcomer of the year in the American Conference. JUCO transfer. And he takes down low to get ahead. 2 balls and no strikes. That slider missing from Stump. Detlefson showed off his acumen. That was a screaming line drive just right at the shortstop, Rock Chalowski, earlier. He's got 13 home runs to lead the team. And there's a fastball lifted in the air to right field towards the line. Salgado has a beat on it. Makes the catch looking up into the sun. Just in fair ground. Towards the line, out number 2, Detlefson, now 0 for 2.
Good big second out there to get. And he gave it a pretty good ride, but a good job by A.J. Salgado battling the sun slightly. As we're at that noon time, 1 p.m. around there. But 2 outs now in the inning, and now UCLA's infield shifted over to the left for the pull with his right-handed hitter coming up.
Good to see Detlefson back after he went crashing into the wall trying to field a foul ball last weekend. First pitch to Hodge, and the shortstop takes a called strike on the inside. Slider there from Landon Stump. 1-0 UCLA. A runner on second, 2 gone for UTSA here in the last of the fourth. Right-handed hitter, so the infield playing the pull now. The pitch outside, 1-1. Wind kicking up just a little bit, blowing straight out to center. You wonder, as the clouds dissipate and the sun comes overhead, if that'll liven up the bats a little bit as this game continues.
Yeah, both these teams could use that.
1-1. There goes Miller from first. A hit and run on. Base hit to right field. Salgado up with it. Lobs it into second. Miller able to go first to third on the sequence. And Hodge now 1 for 2. And UTSA has that tying run now on third base here in the fourth inning.
Yeah, and I think Stump on the mound might have gotten into a bit of a rhythm and maybe using the same timing towards the plate every time, because Miller was jumping before the pitch was even thrown. So even if that ball was not put into play, that would have been stolen base number 10 for him. He does have excellent speed, was able to take that 180 all the way back to third base. So now first and third, and now there's a little mound visit here. Cash Duggar, the catcher, Rock Chalowski, the shortstop, and Landon Stump, the pitcher, all having a quick little chat on the mound. 2 outs, so a force out is possible at second if he can induce the ground ball.
And you also got to talk about what happens if that runner, Hodge, takes off from first as well. He's a guy with speed. UTSA, they've already stolen home this weekend. They come at you in a multitude of ways. You just saw a hit and run there where, as you said, Miller took off before Stump even lifted his leg. He was so dialed in. So I would be wary of UTSA trying to get UCLA's defense out of sorts here, as Ballin is the batter. First pitch is fouled on a line into the UCLA bullpen. 0-1. Fastball there from Stump, and a little bit of a late swing there from Ballin, who struck out back in the second inning, his first AB. Defense straight up here from UCLA. First and third, 2 outs, and a 1-0 lead for the Bruins. Stump trying to strand a pair. 0-1 pitch. Up and in. That one came close to the elbow of Ballin. He didn't exactly stick it out, but he did not move it either as he crowds the plate in the left-handed batter's box. It's a ball and a strike.
And he does have 15 hit by pitches on the season. That's Ballin at the plate. So not afraid to wear it. Pretty close pitch, though.
1-1 offering is fouled off. Again to the left side, a fastball middle in. And Stump ahead 1-2. These are 2 of the top 15 teams in the country when it comes to drawing hit by pitches. Bruins have induced a couple more this weekend so far. 1-2 as Stump gazes in towards Duggar. Now the righty set at the belt. He kicks and throws. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a high fastball. And Stump, who's usually pretty calm on the mound, lets out a roar. His 5th strikeout today, able to strand 2 more UTSA base runners.
And he went back to the fastball on that 1-2 count. Ballin was swinging a little bit earlier in the at-bat, took a slider that was relatively close to hitting him. And then here, a fastball up, a challenge almost over his head. And Landon Stump really let out a roar, as did the crowd here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. That's a big runner to strand at third base to keep the 1-0 lead.
1-0 UCLA on top of UTSA. We go to the 5th, coming up next.
Jaden in the blue jean shorts. Those shorts are going to be hard to run in, but he's doing a pretty good job. Shea is from UTSA. He's got the black shorts on. We have lost some shoes, we've lost some hats, but it looks like a long run all the way back. UCLA and Jaden taking the win today. That's a tough one today. Congratulations, and thank you so much for playing the Dizzy Bat Contest.
Top of the 5th inning coming up at Jackie Robinson Stadium. UCLA leading UTSA 1-0. Bruins, the co-regular season champions in the Big Ten, tied with Oregon, who was 2-0 in their regional last weekend. UTSA, the regular season champs in the American. They won it going away by 5 games, but they were upset in their conference tournament. UCLA, the number 15 overall seed. UTSA, the 2 seed in the Austin Regional. Both teams with clean sweeps last weekend. Bruins took game 1 last night 5-2 and a 1-0 lead here in game 2. And a leadoff bunt put down by Phoenix Call. He evades the tag and is aboard as Moresi, the first baseman, fielded it, tried to get him in the base path, but Call had zipped right on by. Ballin was not covering the bag in time, and Phoenix Call leads off the 5th inning with a bunt single.
And I mean, both corner infielders, McClure at third and Moresi at first, crashed on this bunt. Usually you'll see a drag bunt down the third baseline, but that first baseman, Moresi, was playing pretty deep, so Phoenix Call, he just said, hey, I'm going to put that down, and so there was no one to cover first. That second baseman, Ballin, was playing deep in the hole towards the middle, and that's a nice infield single.
And now a bump put down by West, fielded by McClure. The throw to first in time. They got him. Close play. That ball was likely going to roll foul as it came off the lip of the grass and onto the dirt, approaching the foul line. But McClure did not hesitate. He decided he was going to take the out, but Call now in scoring position for Chalowski.
That's a risky play, especially with the fact that Phoenix Call, who got to second base, has great speed and had the possibility of maybe advancing 90 if he wanted to be really aggressive. But still, he's at second base now, runner in scoring position, and only 1 out. And it looks like we're going to see a mound visit here from UTSA's coach Pat Hallmark. Quick little jog out to talk to his infield. And the situation, to kind of lay where we're at right now, is Brock Chalowski is coming up, and he's obviously best hitter in this UCLA lineup. Phoenix Call at second base, who does have good speed. And so we'll see the outfield likely play deep to mitigate doubles to prevent Chalowski from, taking Phoenix Call's place at second base. But very intense situation here where they don't want to let this game get out of hand.
Miles has been very effective so far. Just this 1 run allowed into the 5th inning. He's racked up 3 strikeouts and been able to scatter these hits largely and strand base runners. But now with some stress here in the top of the 5th, runner on second, 1 away, a 1-0 lead for UCLA, and a great opportunity to add to it with Chalowski at the plate. He is 1 for 2 today. And the first pitch for Miles is a line drive into the right center field gap. That is down. Call had to hold up. Now he's being sent home around third. He will score without a play. Brock Chalowski fired up an RBI single to give UCLA a 2-0 lead.
And it was about time for Chalowski to finally find some grass, and find grass he did. I mean, look, the outfield was playing deep, so they were able to prevent the double. So Chalowski stayed at first base. But first pitch swinging on a fastball that was down at the knees, and he sort of golfed it inside out at it, but hit the barrel as it went to the 42 sign, the Jackie Robinson number there in right center field. And all of this production this inning happened on 5 pitches. A drag bunt, followed by, another bunt, and then the ground out, and now Brock Chalowski's single.
And now LeVou takes down low for ball 1. In fact, it was all first pitches. That was the 3rd pitch of the inning there from Miles. So UCLA taking a 2-0 lead. They have scored in back-to-back innings. And Chalowski on first with 1 away for LeVou, who takes up and in. Did he swing? No. Cocked that bat a little bit. Derek Malika behind the bag at third says he held up. 2 balls and no strikes. LeVou is 0 for 2. Struck out swinging against Miles last time up in the 3rd. Now on 2-0. That one bottoms out. 3 balls and no strikes. And UTSA has activity in the bullpen for the first time today. And that is Braylon Owens. Owens is a guy who potentially would have started tomorrow if things lined up. They might have to bring him in here. Now he is getting loose. And now UTSA calling for time as there's a slow walk from Stuckey, who is perhaps trying to buy time for Mr. Owens in the bullpen.
That's exactly what he's doing. Look, in terms of Miles, his pitch count is just under 70 pitches, but again, 2-0 lead, and he's given up 7 hits, so it is reasonable to think that he's getting close to the end of his line. If this inning gets a little bit more treacherous for him, then I think, to your point, Owens will come into the game. And so now the umpire, home plate umpire, Eric Gaucher, is out to chat to both Stuckey and Miles on the mound as they both run back to home plate. But that was very much just to give a little bit of extra time for that pen to get loose.
I wonder if Miles even throws a 3-0 pitch here, or do we see Pat Hallmark come out? Let's see. Miles has come set on the mound. He will come home, and the breaking ball is upstairs for ball 4. So a walk after the single. That's the second walk. Excuse me, only the first for Miles. So first and second, one out here for UCLA, looking to extend their 2-0 lead. We look towards that UTSA bullpen. And now trying to advance to third goes Chalowski, and he's thrown out. He wants a challenge, but oh my goodness, Chalowski trying to catch UTSA napping with the pitcher Miles just gazing back towards center field after issuing that walk. Chalowski just decided to take off for third. Miles reacted pretty quickly and got the throw over to McClure, who was right at the bag. On first glance, I thought Chalowski was out.
I mean, hey, he was just being alert there. No one covering either second or third. And the moment he slid in head first, Chalowski motioned to his dugout to challenge the play, as did third base coach Nico Gallego. And it does appear that, at least on the replay, that there might have been a glove on Chalowski's back as he slid in. Pretty close play at the bag, though.
It was very close, but as we got one look at the replay on the in-house monitor, he is out. So UCLA, that's a book, that's a page out of UTSA's book right there, being that aggressive. Now Chalowski able to do so many special things, but I can't help but think, boy, you've gotten the pressure on Miles. UTSA at this point just trying to buy time to get a new pitcher in. You've got first and second with one out. Going through the middle of the lineup, Roman Martin is coming to the plate. I don't know how aggressive you need to be in that situation.
No, that's a good point. And I think in the eyes of Chalowski, look, he thought it was a way to steal 90 feet. And so now what's happening is UCLA is challenging this play, and two umpires, Travis Carlson and Derek Mojica, the second and third base umpires, are down wearing the headphones down the left field line, talking to the centralized location to figure out where this play is going to land. But at least if, just between you and me, Nick, it feels like they got him.
And it's not like Chalowski was very far off of second. Give him credit in that he covered 80 feet rather quickly, but it was not like he had inched his way to getting to third without much attention being drawn to him. In a split second, he just decided to go for it, and he nearly did pull it off. But again, the call on the field, he is out, and so that would mean just Lavu on first and now 2 outs. A run is already in here in the 5th inning, but this felt like it had to be a chance to be one of those big innings that UCLA has had throughout the season.
Especially with 1 out, and it does seem like they're taking quite a bit of time to make this decision.
We're seeing an angle on the replay right now. Glove is on his back, and his right glove hand is just short of the bag. I mean, we're talking 6 inches. And I would be stunned if they overturn this call to safe. We will get the call from Mike Morris, the first base umpire, here momentarily. Call confirmed. Chalowski is out. The aggressiveness does not pay off. So each team has 1 challenge remaining the rest of this game. Bruins continue to lead here 2-0 in the 5th. Wonder if that allows Miles to stay in the ball game a little bit longer. Owens has surely had enough time to get loose now.
And it does appear that Owens in the pen is standing. It does seem like he is ready. And now it looks like we're seeing the slow walk from head coach Pat Hallmark, and looks like that's going to be it for Miles.
Roman Martin due to be the batter, and he's got 2 hits off of Miles. And so UTSA will make a change and bring on the big right-hander, Braylon Owens, protecting a 2-run deficit here, and aided by Chalowski being caught stealing moments ago. So 1 on, 2 out here in the top of the 5th. Martin against Owens when we return.
Pitching change. Now on the mound for UTSA, number 50, Braylon Owens.
Back to action here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. We're in the top of the 5th. Bruins in front of UTSA 2-0. Lavu on first with 2 outs for Roman Martin. Rock Chalowski just caught stealing between pitches. Tried to advance from second to third. So that's how UTSA has that second out. And now it's Braylon Owens. A hard-throwing right-hander is on for his 21st appearance. It's been the 3rd weekend starter for UTSA, as he misses down low for ball 1. But they also have pitched him in late game high leverage situations. And when your season is on the line today, a 2-run deficit, this certainly qualifies. Senior, a stocky guy at 6 foot, 228, and throws home. And that's right over the plate for a called strike to Martin. Off speed there to even the count, 1-1 against Martin, who is 2 for 2 today.
And stuff-wise, for Owens on the mound, fastball, curveball, slider. 2 sliders we've seen so far. That fastball gets to the mid-90s.
Owens holding set at the chest, comes home, and there's a fastball off the inside, 2-1. 94 miles an hour there for Owens, who went the final 4 innings last Saturday against Texas. He allowed 1 run in 4 innings, had 4 walks, but 7 strikeouts. Picked up his 3rd save of the season. 2-1. Again, the fastball is inside, and it hops out of Stuckey's glove. Advancing to second goes Lavu. Stuckey looked like he was going to throw, and then ultimately did just make a token throw down to second. Never had a chance to get Lavu, who's now in scoring position for UCLA's hottest hitter here in the postseason, Roman Martin.
Yeah, and he replaces Rock Chalowski, who was caught stealing between second and third. Only difference now, it's 3-1 the count, but with 2 outs. Of course, Martin has had excellent contact, and you referenced his stats about him in the postseason so far. So if anybody that UCLA would want up, it's Roman Martin here to drive in this big insurance run.
It's ruled a pass ball, as it looked like Stuckey just got crossed up a little bit. 3-1, breaking ball, caught the inside, full count. 2-0 UCLA in the top of the fifth. LaVue on second, 2 away for Roman Martin. Most outstanding player of the LA Regional last weekend. Payoff pitch from Owens. Fastball, and it's a slow roller up the third base line. McClure's got it cleanly, and his throw on target for the final out in the fifth. UCLA adds a run on 2 hits, 1 left aboard. Midway through regulation in Los Angeles. UCLA 2, UTSA nothing.
June 13th for the 23rd. It's the 2025 NCAA Men's College World Series in Omaha. Visit ncaa.com/NCWS to secure your championship experience today. All right, we've got several games related to the NCAA Super Regional Final 3-2. The Prince State lineup of men 19-9.
'Last of the fifth upcoming here at Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. UCLA a 2-0 lead on UTSA. Trying to punch the 4th ticket into the College World Series here today. Louisville and Arizona punching tickets earlier today, joining Coastal Carolina. One other game going on, Arkansas leading Tennessee 7-1 in the last of the 4th. If the Hogs win, they would punch their ticket as well. 9-1-2 in the order due up here for UTSA. That's the catcher Stuckey, and then McClure and Lytle. As Landon Stump continues for UCLA, he's been terrific. 5 strikeouts. He has surrendered exactly 1 hit in each inning, but he has gotten those outs exactly when needed and able to strand runners on the corners last time on the hill in the 4th.
And he's been pretty efficient with it, too. Coming into this inning, he's got 71 pitches, about 60% strikes. So he's looking good here to start this inning.
And he hits Stuckey on the first pitch of the at-bat. His command has been on point all game, but the leadoff man aboard for the 4th time in 5 innings for UTSA.
And now the question for John Savage in that dugout is, how much of a leash do you want to give Landon Stump? Now in the bullpen, it looks like there's double-barreled action. Left-hander Chris Grotus warming up, and it seems like potentially Justin Lee getting limbered up, not throwing just yet. And I think maybe to give a little bit of time to the bullpen, John Savage, the head coach for the Bruins, is coming out to, well, at least make a mound visit, and we'll see what he does.
Got Ryan Reeses, another lefty, getting loose as well, but have to imagine Grotus is the first guy out of the bullpen, a left-hander, and there is the call made. So that answers your question. The leash was incredibly tight at the start of this inning, and a tough way for it to end for Landon Stump, given how good he has pitched through the first 4 innings. But in a 2-0 ball game, that first pitch plunked right on the back of the arm, and John Savage forced to make a move here.
And a couple of considerations there for John Savage as well. As we get to the top of the lineup one more time, this would be the 3rd time through the order, but also to bring in Grotus to face McClure, the leadoff hitter, who is a lefty. Makes a lot of sense to bring in Grotus, who really has been an excellent addition to that staff, and he's been a mainstay, especially in the second half of the season.
So it is Grotus coming on. Great round of applause for Landon Stump, who leaves with the lead intact. Is responsible for Stuckey on first, but has done well with the 5 strikeouts. He has stranded 5 runners as well. So now the ball to Grotus. It was kind of oscillated between good and okay outings over the last few weeks. Pitched against UC Irvine on Sunday. That was that closeout game in the regional. Gave up a couple of runs in one inning. Did not cost the Bruins. They had built an early lead in that one. Against Nebraska in the Big Ten Championship game, couple runs in 1 1/3 of action there. Last time he pitched at home in the regular season against Northwestern, 2 2/3 scoreless. I think the Bruins would invite something more like that here in the last of the fifth, protecting a 2-0 lead.
And in terms of the leash that certainly that Grotus will get, you typically will see him pitch for maybe the maximum 2 innings pitched, but he typically hovers around an inning, and actually the moment that Grotus is getting loose, there's another righty getting loose, and that appears to be Cal Randall, hard-throwing right-handed pitcher for the Bruins. And one of the benefits to yesterday's victory, as we talked about in the open, is that this bullpen is fresh. The 3 arms that came out of the pen only threw 10 to 12 pitches, so those arms are theoretically also available today should they need to hold this 2-0 lead later in the game.
The bullpen, of course, fantastic. Last night, 3 perfect innings between August Souza, Jack O'Connor, and Easton Hawk. Are you surprised not to see Ian May here? This was the combination a week ago when the Bruins played ASU in their winner's bracket game of the regional. Stump went 3+, and then it was May who went the middle part of that game. Bruins keeping him on the shelf for now for Chris Grotus. And his first pitch is right at the knees on the outside for a strike. The fastball coming in at 90 miles an hour on Norris McClure. So the numbers for Grotus: he's got a 5.40 ERA, 26 strikeouts over 14 walks in 28 1/3. And he misses down and away. Put that breaking ball well off the outside. 1-1. With a runner on first, that's Stuckey, and nobody out here in the 5th inning.
And Stuckey is the catcher, so with no outs, he is not a threat to run. Only has 1 stolen base on the season.
He is being held on by Lavu. Infield shaded to pull against a left-handed hitter. And Grotus makes a move to first, and back with that right hand is Stuckey.
That's kind of the benefit of bringing on a lefty pitcher, because that pickoff move makes it more challenging for these runners to get a good jump, because it's often on timing, and you got to make sure he actually goes towards the plate with that leg kick.
Grotus looking to first and comes home. And there's a check swing. Did he go? No. There's a high pitch there on the outside, a fastball above the belt, so it's ball 2, 2-1 to McClure.
And with McClure, the lefty in the box, middle infield shifted a little to the right. Chalowski playing behind second base for the double play.
2-1 pitch. At the knees, strike 2. Fastball painted right at the bottom of the zone. 2-2 for Grotus against McClure, who is 1 for 2 today, including a leadoff double back in the first inning. 2-0 UCLA in front in the home half of the 5th. 2-2 pitch. Down and away, full count. Another fastball from Grotus, but a pretty easy take there. It was gloved by Duggar just above the dirt.
So it's turned into a good at-bat for McClure at the plate. Pitch number 6 coming up. Majority fastballs, but he's seen 1 slider.
3-2. Grotus' pitch is a bouncer up the middle. Chalowski sizes it up, gloves it, steps on second, on to first, a double play. Nobody does it better than UCLA at turning 2, and they wipe away that leadoff hit by pitch. 2 gone in the 5th.
That's how important defensive positioning is as well. Chalowski was played perfectly for that ball. Look, it was a chopper up the middle over the pitcher's mound. Grotus able to induce that ground ball. And hey, with his momentum already moving towards the bag, it was an easy step on second and throw to first. So a 6-3 double play.
Base is clear now, and 2 outs as Lytle takes down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Also like to have Mason Lytle come to the plate and have the bases clear in a 2-0 game. Now the 1-0. Fastball fouled off of Duggar's mask. Mask actually popped off, and so Eric Gaucher, the plate umpire, will walk the baseball out to Grotus to give the backstop a chance to regather here. 1-1 the count to Lytle.
That's why he wears that two-piece catcher's helmet. There's originally that hockey-style helmet that catchers would wear, but they've moved in recent times back to the two-piece, which is more of the traditional because it disperses that energy better on a foul tip, like it did there.
Duggar settled back behind the plate. A ball and a strike to Lytle. 2 gone in the 5th. 2-0 UCLA. Breaking ball hammered foul. That one went just over the head of Pat Hallmark, the head coach. Man's third base when UTSA is at the plate. So Lytle behind 1-2. He's got a strikeout and a single today. Infield playing the right-handed hitter to pull, but not a overshift. Call the second baseman just off to the right of the second base bag. Breaking ball fouled again. That one a little bit closer, just wide of third base. And down the left field line, off speed there from Grotus, and it's back-to-back loud contact swings from Lytle.
That's exactly why the left side of the infield is hugging the line. Roman Martin is probably 5 feet away from the chalk. Meanwhile, Chalowski also in the hole between short and third.
Grotus ahead, 1-2. The lefty kicks and throws, and the off-speed left high and away. Went to the slider, it appeared. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Just trying to give him a different look. Those other pitches were inside, trying to go outside there with the off-speed.
2-2. Called strike 3. Got him looking at the knees. Grotus comes on, gets a double play and a strikeout. Lytle left stunned at the plate, did not like the call. Grotus paints the fastball at the bottom of the zone. And after 5 in Los Angeles, UCLA maintains a 2-0 lead over UTSA.
Right, here we go. Are you ready? Let's hear the kids. Get loud, kids. All right, if you're a student, make some noise. If you're alumni, make some noise. Yeah. East Coast people, are you here? What about the West Coasters? Anyone from the North? And we got a lot of people from the South. Make some noise. All right, Midwesterners. Yeah. If you're a sports fan, get loud. All right, this next part, I'm going to let you handle all on your own. Let's see how good you are. Left hand in the air. Right hand in the air. Both hands in the air. To the left. To the right. To the left. To the right. Yeah, I'm giving up. You guys are awesome. Clap your hands. Give yourselves a big round of applause. And thank you for playing.
UCLA on top of UTSA 2-0 as we begin the 6th inning in Los Angeles. The Bruins are the designated road team here in Game 2 of the Super Regional. And they are just a few innings away from returning to Omaha for the first time in 12 years. Salgado, Brennan, and Bythewood for the Bruins against Braylon Owens, the hard-throwing right-hander for UTSA. Righty on lefty to begin the 6th. And Owens out of the windup for the first time. This is high and away with that fastball for ball 1. So the final line for the starter, Connor Miles, allows the 2 runs on 7 hits and 4 2/3. He had a walk and 3 strikeouts. Swing and a miss there from Salgado, evens the count, 1-1. Another fastball. Salgado today a strikeout, and he has grounded into a double play, 0 for 2. 1-1, swing and a miss. Another fastball in at 94 from Owens. Belt high over the middle and got it by him.
And he's throwing heat for sure, and he's just challenging these hitters.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And the righty deals. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Fastball elevated off the plate. Salgado went chasing, and it's a strikeout to begin the top of the 6th for Braylon Owens.
After starting that at-bat with that first pitch fastball for a ball, he just came back with 3 straight fastballs and those 2 swing and misses on Salgado. He was late on him. Quick, easy strikeout with a powerful fastball from Owens.
Bases clear, 1 out for Peyton Brennan. He has not been retired today. He's been hit by a pitch and has a double. And he takes high and outside, ball 1. A breaking ball way upstairs. UCLA with their 2 runs on 7 hits, an error, and 5 left. No runs, 4 hits, an error, and 5 left for UTSA. Fastball outside, 2-0 to Brennan. Overcast skies when we got going at 12 noon, but the sun is out and shining here as we approach 2 o'clock in the west. 2-0 pitch from Owens. Swing and a miss. Another elevated fastball, and UCLA having a tough time making contact right now. That was 93 miles an hour at the belt on the outside. Count now 2-1.
And that's 7 fastballs in a row to start the inning.
Owens kicks and delivers. That one at the knees, a called strike 2. 95 that time from Owens. 2-2 as he came on for Miles to get the final out in the 5th. And so far cruising as he continues into the 6th. His 2-2. Fastball fouled off into the screen. Another elevated fastball on the outer half. And this time Brennan making contact to hold the count where it is. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sellout crowd here at Jackie Robinson Stadium for Game 2 of the Super Regional. Another 2-2. Inside. Called strike 3. Eric Gaucher has a delayed called 3rd strike motion, and that one right at the knees to freeze Peyton Brennan. Back-to-back strikeouts for Owens to begin the 6th inning.
Yeah, and both of these fan bases here today have been pretty vocal about this strike zone from Eric Gaucher. Has shifted a little bit throughout the game, but this one maybe got that inside corner right at the knees, and certainly a pitch that close, especially with the speed of Owens, you can't really take it.
Here's Toussaint Bythewood. First pitch fastball shot high in the air toward the right field line. Tausig on the run. He's there and he makes the catch. His momentum taking him towards the barrier, and that'll end the inning. A very efficient top of the 6th for Braylon Owens. He puts UCLA down in order, including a couple of strikeouts. Middle of the 6th, it's UCLA 2, UTSA nothing. Bottom half of the 6th coming up in Los Angeles. UCLA maintaining its lead on UTSA, 2-0 Bruins, with the Roadrunners set to come to the plate. UTSA had a couple of early runs yesterday in game one before UCLA scored 5 unanswered to win the game. This is now 12 consecutive innings this weekend that UTSA has been held scoreless, and throughout the course of the season, any way you slice it, this has been a top 20 offense in the nation, but this Bruin pitching staff has been up to the task so far.
I mean, they've looked great, and to your point, UTSA has been held silent. I mean, just 4 hits in this game. They've really got to get it going here. They're still shut out as we enter the middle innings.
Chris Grotus continues. Tausig squared to bunt and takes the pitch off the outside for ball 1. So Grotus took the baton from Landon Stump and got the 3 outs there in the 5th. So 4 scoreless for Stump, including 5 strikeouts, 4 hits, and a walk. Now a swing and a miss. High fastball at the letters from Grotus. 1-1 to Tausig, who is still looking for his first hit of this weekend. 0 for 2 today and 0 for 6 in this series. Playing him to pull. And the pitch in there, a called strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes against the tall left-handed hitter.
And sticking with that fastball, 3 in a row, 1-2 count, and a lefty hitter, so he can go back to that slider if he wants.
Tausig has hit lefties well throughout the season, an average just short of 400, but he's rung up here. A called 3rd strike on the outside for Grotus. Got him looking with a fastball.
And Tausig did not like that call, but I mean, look, Grotus hit that corner. Cash Duggar, the catcher for the Bruins, set up on the outside part of the plate. Chris Grotus just hitting exactly where that glove was located. And a delayed strike call from Eric Gaucher, but I think it was a correct call.
So 2 consecutive strikeouts for Grotus going back to the 5th. Leadoff man retired here to begin the 6th. Now here's Moresi. Swing and a miss out in front of the breaking ball. 0-1. That is only the 2nd time that UCLA has retired the leadoff man for UTSA today. Moresi 0 for 1 with a walk. Right-handed hitter now. 0-1 from the lefty. Grotus is a fastball on the outside corner, a called strike, and Grotus ahead, 0-2. 2-0 UCLA, last of the 6th. Bases empty, and 1 out for UTSA at the plate. Tausig holding that bat out in front, now ready. 0-2, outside. No chase on the fastball from Moresi. A ball and 2 strikes.
Good pitch on the outside, maybe a little bit high.
UTSA trying to extend its season to a Game 3 tomorrow. This one lifted to center, weak contact. Peyton Brennan settling underneath, makes the catch coming in and to his left. Grotus retiring the first 2 batters here in the 6th inning.
That's 8 pitches, 4 pitches on that strikeout looking. And then here, 4 pitches to get the fly out. So overall, Grotus has come into this game and he's been effective, holding UTSA to a count. And again, just 4 hits in the game, and they've yet to put a run on the scoreboard.
Caden Miller has one of those hits, and the left-handed hitter stands in. That open stance, overshift against him here. And he shows bunt and takes a fastball outside for ball 1. So Chalowski onto the right side of second base, just Roman Martin eating up the left side, and he's got to be ready for a bunt attempt now. Wind blowing out to center field. As the 1-0 is bunted out of the air. It's caught by Grotus. He picks it up off the turf, and Miller is retired. Dropped the bat, popped it up. Grotus retires the side in order in the 6th. We head to the 7th in Los Angeles. UCLA leading UTSA 2-0.
UCLA. Catcher, number 40.
We head to the latter innings at Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. UCLA leads UTSA 2-0. The Bruins scoring a run each in the 4th and the 5th. And UTSA has been held off the scoreboard since the 2nd inning of Game 1 yesterday. Bruins at the plate now here in the 7th. Cash Duggar squares and takes a fastball for a strike on the outer half. As Braylon Owens, not Braylon Edwards, a former football player. Last time I heard the name Braylon was Braylon Edwards. Owens, in fact, on the mound, back into his motion. And now a curveball catches the outside for a called strike 2. So it's Duggar, and then Call and West due up for UCLA here in the 7th. The Bruins with their 2 runs on 7 hits. Duggar takes outside, and Owens hopping off the mound, waiting for the call. It did not come.
I mean, this zone, Eric O'Shea behind the plate has been tight for sure.
Left-handed hitting catcher at the dish, and he pokes it foul. Just a late swing there on the fastball, able to make some contact. And see another pitch from Owens.
Now, Owens coming into the game, just over 20 pitches. He's been pretty good. I mean, throwing strikes and mixing up that fastball and that slider.
Another 1-2 to Duggar. And another defensive swing, fouled it off. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, his fastest of the game. And I would anticipate that unless things get really sideways, Owens is going to finish off this game for UTSA.
Yeah, I mean, that would make the most sense. Save some arms for Monday.
Duggar pokes it through the left side, base hit. Bounces its way on through. And after fouling off a couple of fastballs, on the 6th pitch of the at-bat, he plunks it for a leadoff single.
He didn't try to do too much on that swing. He just took it to the left side, hit it on the ground, maybe slightly off the end of the bat. Look, a couple of hard fastballs he got in that at-bat that he was just trying to foul off for dear life. And he just put it in play and found himself on first base.
First base runner against Owens, who had retired 4 straight since coming into the game. And now here is Phoenix Call. And he puts a bunt down on the right side. Owens bobbles it and will throw to first. Call actually stopped running as soon as Owens did secure it. But Phoenix Call does his job advancing Duggar into scoring position.
That was a good bunt right down the first base line. Move the runner over. That's college baseball in a nutshell, especially with 1 out, top of the lineup coming up. You want to get this run in, and that's a big run, especially in a 2-0 game.
Dean West 0 for 2. He put down a sac bunt last time up in the 5th. Has not made solid contact yet today. That was all against Miles, though. And now he takes a pitch up and in for ball 1. A fastball humming in at 94. West and then Chalowski here with Duggar in scoring position. The pitch, breaking ball slipped out of the hand, way high and outside. An easy take, and West ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. West hitting .370 this year with runners in scoring position. Owens holding set. He throws. Fastball outside, 3-0, and another easy take for West.
Now Owens not being able to find the zone here. 27 pitches, 21 fastballs. So when you can't get that slider in, especially when you're not throwing it very much, it's not very effective.
3-0 is there. Over the outer half for a called strike. 3-1 to Dean West, the sophomore. Out of nearby Woodland Hills, second best on base percentage on the team. The best is on deck, Brock Chalowski. 3-1, popped foul and out of play.
It looked like he was preparing to swing at that fastball right before that pitch. Put that foot down a little bit early, flew open a little bit with his front shoulder on the swing. Caught it on the end of the bat there, And now a full count.
Duggar on second, one gone, top of the seventh. A 2-0 lead for UCLA and a chance to add to it. And now a whip around from Owens. Close play at second, but not in time. Duggar gets the right hand back to the base safely. And he was leaning towards third as Owens whipped around.
And Duggar, again, catcher's leg, so not the quickest guy on the base paths. Had a pretty aggressive lead.
Owens holding set at the chest. And now time is called. Pitch was thrown and West hit it in the air to left field. But time was called at the plate. And I think it was West who called for time.
Yep.
Because Owens was holding set for the better part of 5 seconds.
Yeah, that pitch clock was getting down to 0.
So West will now talk with Bryant Ward, the assistant coach who runs the offense for UCLA. I think this is basically a charge timeout here for UCLA, one of their allotments for the game.
Now, it didn't actually appear that Dean West motioned for time, but maybe he was vocalizing it. We couldn't quite catch that up here, but it does appear that Eric O'Shea, the home plate umpire, when he did call time, pointed to Dean West in the batter's box, indicating that time was called from the hitter. So that fly out, or at least that ball that was hit by West after the timeout, was hit to left field and would have been a fly out, but hey, another lease on life for Dean West at the plate.
3 balls, 2 strikes to UCLA's leadoff man. Duggar on second, 1 away. Bruins leading 2-0. Again, Owens holding set. 3-2 pitch. Down and in, ball 4. Fastball not close. West had to shuffle his feet back out of the way of that 94-mile-per-hour fastball. And the Bruins have first and second for Rock Chalowski.
And for Owens, that was pitch number 30, and a good at-bat by Dean West. What we usually expect, a 6-pitch walk, maybe unofficially 7 with that time call on that previous pitch. And now runners on first and second, force out at any base. But of course, part of the lineup coming up here for UCLA with 1 out.
Chalowski 2 for 3 today, including an RBI single last time up in the 5th. 2 on, 1 out. First pitch fastball running inside. Chalowski's got to throw his arms up. 1 ball and no strikes. Chalowski now 3 for 8 this weekend. Chance to extend this 2-0 lead. And that's up and in. Has to lean back out of the way. 2 fastballs well in off the plate from Braylon Owens. The righty comes home, and it's outside, 3-0, and he looks back into the distance beyond right field, frustrated to fall behind 3-0 to Chalowski.
And Chalowski not afraid to take ball 4, second most in the lineup in free passes.
A breath from Owens, and the pitch is there on the inside. That was a slider. Went off speed to find the zone there.
Maybe throwing the off speed there really just to, I don't know, if Rock Chalowski has the green light and is swinging on 3-0 on a fastball.
So it's 3-1 now. Owens delivers. Fastball fouled off of Eric O'Shea. Our plate umpire took it off the mask as that caught the thin part of Chalowski's bat, and another full count.
That's a stinger.
Oh, Gaucher is taking a beat here. It looks like his counterparts are going to check on him a little bit. He's putting his hand up towards left side of his jaw a little bit, and Derek Malika coming down from third, and in fact, Travis Carlson, Mike Morris going to join in as well. And UCLA's athletic trainer, Caitlin Gustafson, will consult as well as he took that fastball deflected foul straight off the mask.
Oof. Yeah, we've got to look at the replay here on the monitor in the booth, and got him right flush in the mask as he takes a drink of some water, but I mean, he's also just like a catcher. You're taking a beating back there, certainly as an ump. One from the fans who don't like your call sometimes, but it seems like he's clutching the side of his jaw there, just below your ear.
Yeah, you got that jaw muscle as you clench there on the left side, and he's trying to work out his jaw, opening and closing his mouth. And he's going to put the mask on. And a dummy. With first and second and one out in the seventh, Bruins up 2-0. Owens holding set, comes home. Fastball struck him out swinging. Brought it in off the plate and got Chalowski to chase. 95 miles an hour there from Owens. 2 away.
And a good pitch, kept in on the pitch. And look, started him off with that fastball, and Chalowski was able to get a 2-0 advantageous count, actually to 3-0. And then, hey, on the mound, Owens fought back with 3 fastballs to get back into that count. And that's a big strikeout. Now 2 outs in the inning.
It's the first time Chalowski has struck out in the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
Now LaVue, high and away. Ball 1. Cash Duggar had a leadoff single. Now on second. Call bunted him over there. West drew a walk, standing on first. And then the strikeout of Chalowski, the third for Owens since coming into the game out of the bullpen. 1-0 pitch. Curveball in there on the outside for a called strike. 1-1.
A very good curveball. He's got a 3/4 release, so that moves up down pretty dramatically. And it basically dropped in right at mid-thigh level.
LaVue 0 for 2 with a walk. The pitch. Inside, down around the knees. 2 balls and a strike. Now Owens frustrated to miss with that fastball. Not where he wanted it. Owens quickly back set. Checks the lead runner at second, Duggar. And now comes home. Fastball fouled off by LaVue to the left side and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's the pitch that LaVue wanted. Just missed that ball. It was on the inside part of the plate, closer to the knees, and that's where LaVue likes it. He likes to pull that ball middle in to the right side.
Infield shaded to pull against a left-handed hitter, and the outfield straight away and deep. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Owens kicks and deals, and another foul. In on the hands with the fastball. And LaVue will see another.
And basically the same pitch one more time. This one a little bit more towards the middle of the plate. LaVue right on it. When you foul it straight back, that's what he's looking. So if I'm Owens on the mound, I'm taking note of that, especially on this 2-2 count.
UCLA trying to extend its lead. The pitch. Breaking ball, grounded foul on the first base side. LaVue had to go down low to make a bit of contact with that one.
Yeah, he's very clearly looking fastball there. I mean, very early on that off-speed pitch. Hit it just off the nub at the end of the bat there. Especially with that speed differential. With Owens getting that fastball up to 96 today, and that slider sitting around mid-80s, around 86. That's a pretty big speed differential.
Leading RBI man in the Big Ten at the plate. Second in the nation, in fact, is Mulivai LaVue. 2-2, and another foul. This one high off the screen behind the plate. Another fastball there from Owens.
Now's pitch number 7 of the at-bat, pitch number 43 for Owens. And this will be the 4th pitch coming up with a 2-2 count.
LaVue waiting, the pitch. Breaking ball outside, full count now. We will have a 9th pitch of the at-bat. LaVue, by the way, 392 with runners in scoring position this season. 2 on, 2 out in the top of the 7th. Bruins on top of the Roadrunners, 2-0. Owens set. He throws. Breaking ball, high and outside, ball 4. That'll load the bases. A second walk of the inning for Braylon Owens. And they are loaded with 2 away. for UCLA's hottest hitter here in the postseason, Roman Martin.
And I mean, real quick on that Mulivai-Lavu walk, he was actually standing in the box there. It was a pretty close pitch, that off-speed pitch. But now bases loaded, and again, if you're John Savage, there's nobody else you want up at the plate more than Roman Martin.
Roman Martin here in the postseason has driven in 11 runs over the course of 5 games. And he takes it inside just below that elbow guard, a fastball missing for ball 1. Martin 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles. Owens faced Martin to begin his outing back in the 5th. Got a ground out to 3rd. Fastball inside outed foul to the right side, 1-1. Martin this season hitting .462 with the bases loaded. And a chance to crack this game open in the 7th with Duggar on 3rd, West on 2nd, and Lavu on 1st. A single and a couple of walks for the Bruins offensively in this inning. Owens 1-1. Fastball lifted in the air to right center field, falling quickly. Lytle coming in, dives and makes the catch. The Americans' Defensive Player of the Year saves a run, if not 2, coming in and to his left. Terrific closing speed from Mason Lytle. Robs Roman Martin of a base hit and prevents UCLA from extending this 2-0 lead.
I mean, he saved at least 2 runs right there. Just a straight, full dive. Oh my gosh. That preserves the game. I mean, look, those 2 runs score. This is a completely different game, especially with the pitching staff that we've seen from UCLA. But oh my gosh, that's a way to end that inning.
So the Bruins leave them loaded in the top of the 7th. 1 hit and 3 left. We go to the stretch in Los Angeles. UCLA 2, UTSA nothing. We go to the last of the 7th. Game 2 of the LA Super Regional. The Bruins winning 5-2 last night over UTSA. And they are 9 outs away from punching their ticket to Omaha. We go to the last of the 7th. Roadrunners to the plate. They are the home team here in Game 2. Detlefson, Hodge, and Ballin due up 6, 7, and 8 in the order. And Chris Grotus will continue on the hill for UCLA. 2 perfect innings so far from the left-hander. And he's racked up a couple of strikeouts. And he misses outside a breaking ball to begin the at-bat against Detlefson, who's a dangerous bat in this UTSA lineup. The co-newcomer of the year in the American. 13 big flies on the season. Power bat from the right side. And he drills the fastball to left field, but it's hanging up into the gap. West tracks it down on the run for out number 1. Loud contact and then just died in the outfield air.
I mean, that might have been the best hit ball UTSA has had in several innings. Again, still only 4 hits in the game, and if you're John Savage now, that big first out that Grotus is getting you, especially considering he's only got, just around 24 pitches, 25 pitches on the game so far. And there is continued milling around in the UCLA bullpen, but I think this is Grotus's inning to complete.
Now here's the shortstop, Hodge, who had the most recent hit for UTSA back in the 4th inning. And there's a line drive out to center field right at Peyton Brennan. He's there and makes the catch. 2 quick outs for Chris Grotus and this UCLA defense. 3 pitches, 2 away here in the last of the 7th.
And Ballin similarly, another hard hit ball, but they're being a bit more aggressive. That was 2 pitches in that first batter to Hodge. And first pitch swinging from Ballin. And now, number 9 hitter in the lineup. We'll see what they can do.
Bases clear, 2 gone. And UCLA protecting a 2-0 lead. Here is Ballin, the second baseman, showing bunt. And he takes the pitch a little inside. Duggar did not glove it. Maybe he could have gotten the call if he did. If it was off the plate, it was not by much. But it is ball 1 to Ballin. Ballin 2 strikeouts today. He is 0 for 5 in this series. Has not had a ball leave the infield. And that hit him on the elbow. He is aboard. He crowds the plate. And that breaking ball did not get back over the plate enough. So it's a 2-out hit batter. And that is the first base runner UTSA has had against the UCLA bullpen this weekend.
I mean, that tells you how good they've been. But to Ballin, that was just a ball that stayed in.
So some speed now on the bases for UTSA. Ballin 6 for 9 when trying to steal this season. And does UTSA down 2-0 try to advance them? But first UCLA calls for time. And might that be it for Grotus? Andrew Stuckey, the catcher, a right-handed hitter, is the batter. And it looks like UCLA wants to get that righty-on-righty matchup. And they're going to bring on Cal Randall, the hard-throwing righty, try to get this final out of the 7th. And who knows, maybe continue on to the 8th inning.
Yeah, and overall, pretty good outing for Chris Grotus coming out of the pen. Holding UTSA, I mean, still, they've yet to score a run in this game. So they turn it over to Cal Randall. And look, it's not as if UTSA has not had opportunities in this game. They've had 5 runners left on. 5 runners left on in scoring position, in fact, and that's why they're 0 for 5 in that department. Now, certainly the runner at the moment in Ballin is only on first base, but with 2 outs, look, they've got to be aggressive here and try anything they can to get that runner at least 90 feet to 90 feet and try to get some production.
So Cal Randall warming up. We'll stick it here, though, as UCLA leads 2-0, last of the 7th. Hit batter is the only way that UTSA has been getting base runners as of late. Not had a hit since the 4th inning. But now in a 2-run ball game, they will get that tying run of the plate here in the last of the 7th. Stuckey, a guy who's got 6 home runs this year. And then you've got the top of the lineup after that. So a chance to put some pressure on the sophomore right-hander, Cal Randall, who is on for his 26th appearance of the season. He is 2-1 with a 3.13 ERA, 26 strikeouts in 23 innings. He's got 14 walks as well. Team's hitting just 195 against him, and we anticipate a lot of fastballs. He can get it up to 98 miles per hour.
Yeah, and another flamethrower out of the pen, and certainly a difference from Grotus, who kind of sits Grotus probably sits around closer to low 90s, around 90 with that fastball, and certainly the hardest thrower that UCLA has, well, at least in the series so far. The only other potential hard-throwing person they might see later today is Easton Hawk, who also gets up to around 97. But again, to your point, in terms of stuff, that fastball is the one that he's going to throw the majority of the time. But he also leverages a slider that he'll throw in there to change things up a bit.
Out of Discovery Bay, California, east part of the Bay Area, went to De La Salle High School. He's got that real exaggerated leg kick as well. And gets it about even with his shoulders at full extension and creates that torque. And he will deal with Stuckey here. UCLA protecting a 2-0 lead. Mentioned how UCLA has been phenomenal when they score first, but this is a UTSA team that has the most come-from-behind victories in all of Division I, 28 of them this season. And they've only got 7 more outs to work with to extend their season, trying to force a Game 3 tomorrow here in Los Angeles. First pitch to Stuckey is a fastball low and outside for ball 1. And that first one clocks in at 95 from Randall. Infield shaded a pull against a right-handed hitter. Call is behind the second base bag. Outfield is very deep. 1-0, there goes the runner. It's a strike at the plate, throw down, they got him! Phoenix call with the tag. Does UTSA want to challenge? Pat Hallmark, the head coach at third, he does want to challenge. This is the last one they have. So the umpire is telling UCLA to stay on the field. They will take a look at this on a very close play. Jordan Ballin, who just drew the hit by pitch, trying to get himself into scoring position. And UTSA trying to get a run across, forced to burn this challenge here. It was called out on the field. Cash Duggar, quick pop, and it looks like he's going to be out as we got our first look at the replay. A very close play as Ballin slides in, extending with that left hand. At the tag appears to come just before he gets his hand there. Cash Duggar from behind the plate could not have done it any better.
No, I mean, that pop time was perfect, but more than that, perfect pitch to receive as a catcher. It was a fastball that was a little bit up, so it gave him the opportunity to get out of the squat relatively quickly, and Ballin's got good speed. That was a good jump off of first base. That would be stolen base number 7 if the call is overturned. Of course, currently he's being considered out, and that's what the review will figure out. But I mean, you can't throw a ball better than Cash Duggar did. Right on the money, a perfect tag by Phoenix Call, the Bruins second baseman. Didn't have to move his glove too much. And as we take a look one more time at the replay, at least on our side here, so he tags him on the left shoulder, perhaps on the back of the tricep there, but that hand, as he dives headfirst into the bag, did not seem to touch second base before Phoenix Call got him with the glove. So, of course, we'll see what the official ruling is here in just a second. But a little bit of drama, and if you're Pat Hallmark, I think you just have to use that challenge because, look, it's late in the game, and this is your best shot of at least getting one run in and cutting this lead in half.
Now, it looked like the hand was still extended up, the fingers up out of the air. Just as the tag came in, here comes the call. He is out. Call confirmed. And so UCLA, in fact, faces the minimum here in the 7th, thanks to Cash Duggar. Great jump from Ballin, but that throw from UCLA's backstop right on the money. Ballin retired, and we will go to the 8th inning here in Los Angeles. Bruins will try to extend their 2-0 lead when we return to Jackie Robinson Stadium.
Quick score check. NCAA Super Regional in Fayetteville. Arkansas topping Tennessee right now. Top of the 7th. Arkansas is ahead 8-1.
Oh, it's only about 2:30 in the afternoon, but getting late here in Los Angeles as we begin the 8th inning. Bruins in front of UTSA 2-0. UCLA trying to join Coastal Carolina, Arizona, and Louisville in Omaha. 6 outs away from doing so, and as they come to the plate looking to add some insurance with the middle of their lineup, 5, 6, and 7 due up. Salgado, Brennan, and Bythewood against Braylon Owens, who's been very effective since coming into the ball game. 2 1/3 scoreless with 3 strikeouts. Righty into his motion, delivers, and the first pitch fouled off by Salgado. Salgado struck out swinging against Owens when they first met in the 6th inning. AJ trying to get in the hit column. He's 0 for 3 today. A pair of strikeouts. He's also grounded into a double play. Big righty deals a breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Defense pretty much straight up here against Salgado. A slight tilt to the pull side against the lefty. And now here is the 1-1. Fouled off to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And it looked like on that foul ball, Salgado, he slammed the cap of his bat down into the dirt. Possibly either a mistake pitch that he wanted one more time, or maybe trying to get the bad energy out of the bat.
1-2 pitch on its way. And that is a flare that is knocked down by McClure. It'll actually scoot past him. Salgado will end up on second, a leadoff double. Norris McClure at third had a chance to snag that out of the air, deflected off of his glove, got past him, and as it slowly trickled down the left field line, Salgado was able to turn it into 2.
And if possible, as he kind of muscled that one to left, it might have knuckled a little bit in the air and changed the trajectory as that third baseman McClure jumped up to grab it. Now Salgado has good speed, was running out of the box pretty hard, but he was able to stand up and get to second easily, and it looks like they are calling that a double double to third base rather. But that's a runner in scoring position with no outs here. Big insurance run.
He jumped into the air, and I think he jumped more than he needed to. Here's Peyton Brennan, does not square to bunt. He takes down low for ball 1. McClure at third, Moresi at first. They're on alert in case Brennan does want to try to bunt over Salgado, put him on third with 1 out. Brennan 1 for 2 today with a double. He's also been hit by a pitch, but he struck out first time against Owens. And now he fouls off the curve. 1-1.
Now Owens has definitely been giving this UTSA team length. I mean, that pitch count over 50. He's at 54 now. He's done a pretty good job of holding UCLA. Look, they haven't scored since the middle innings.
Bruins getting a run in the 4th, another in the 5th. That's it. That's all we've had today. 2-0 UCLA. Fastball off of Owens at Karams on the first base side, and Brennan is aboard. They throw it to Owens. It gets by him. Coming around and scoring is Salgado, and it's a 3-0 UCLA lead. That was an absolute missile off the bat. It caught Owens on the backside and ricocheted into foul ground on the first base side. Owens went to cover first. Moresi, the first baseman, tossed it to him. He could not handle it. And as it got away, Salgado advances all the way home. The Bruins extend the lead, and Owens is now being looked on.
I mean, that ball got him as flush as you can get. And the absolute missile, to your point, off the bat. It deflected so strongly off of him, it ended up all the way into foul territory down the right side by first base. And so, good presence of mind to even get to first base and try and grab the ball. But as he got that feed, as he was covering first base, he just wasn't able to, collect himself. And now he's just taking a walk around the infield to try and see if he's all right. And it does seem like he wants to stay in this game. And I mean, what a gamer to want to stay in for sure after that. And so he's taking a couple of warm-up pitches here. But I think one thing to consider, actually, as he was just about to take a warm-up pitch, I think that might have got him in his throwing arm or something on his throwing side, because he went to take a warm-up pitch right now and he couldn't do it.
Yeah, it looked like it either got him on the right side of his torso or maybe caught a piece of his elbow. It's tough to see because he had that elbow tucked in. And that you just hate to see here in the postseason. Now, Owens has been a workhorse all season long for UTSA. A screaming line drive off the bat of Brennan right back at Owens. He's unable to defend himself. And there is a right-hander getting loose in the bullpen for UTSA as UCLA has now taken a 3-0 lead. Owens is now lightly tossing to Stuckey, the catcher, trying to see if this will loosen up at all. It's going to be a heck of a bruise, though.
I mean, he'll be sore tomorrow for sure. And again, 55 pitches that he's thrown so far, but not to mention that, of course, We hope he's all right on the mound, and it seems like he's trying to get to that place, but UCLA did score a run on that play. Now, the runner got to third, and then Salgado able to get into home to score on the feed to first going past first base. So it's a 3-0 game, but still, you hope he's all right.
So scored a single and then an error on Moresi, the first baseman, for that errant toss from foul ground, trying to get Brennan. Even if he did have that toss on line, he was not going to get Brennan in time. So an unearned run comes across to give UCLA a 3-0 lead. And I think that got him on his right side below the armpit. So as you're trying to extend your right arm and throw home, you're stretching out that whole right side of the body where he got hit. As Brennan hit that 108 off the bat.
Oh my gosh. And like right at your rib too. Yeah, he's gonna have to put an ice pack on that tomorrow.
I think the second he comes out of the game, in between
for sure.
innings.
For sure.
So still nobody out, by the way, here in the 8th inning. Only 2 have come to the plate. Brennan on first, and now here is Toussaint Bythewood. 3-0 UCLA, top of the 8th inning. And Owens deals a fastball low, ball 1. He does get that one in at 92. He has been pretty steadily sitting in the mid-90s throughout this ball game. 92 definitely on the lower side. And now Pat Hallmark calls for time, and I think they're just going to take him out right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, might have just been, hey, let him throw one pitch and get him out of there as they were trying to get that pitcher loose in the pen.
That's Gunnar Brown, who got up and throwing.
And you see head coach Pat Hallmark giving a big hug to Owens on the mound. I mean, Braylon Owens to take that type of ball on a comebacker and at least even go out and take one pitch. I mean, look, if you're Pat Hallmark, you care for your guys and you want them to be all right. And I don't know, just a lot to say about just even going out there and trying one more time.
Good effort, but you can see the pain there for Owens, trying to battle through it. And he's getting a standing ovation here from everybody. UCLA fans and UTSA fans onto their feet here for Braylon Owens, who acknowledges the crowd, and a slight hitch in his gait as he comes off as well. And disappointed for sure, muttering into his glove, and his team giving him hugs as he makes his way back into the dugout. A valiant effort there for Owens, a senior out of Elgin, Texas, who's gotten better and better. And he knows he may have just thrown his last pitch in college right there. And as he gets into the dugout, some of the emotion coming out as well. And nice to see the whole stand, not just the UTSA fans, but the Bruin fans as well. Everybody acknowledging that moment, the hurt, the resilience, and then ultimately not able to power through. And Pat Hallmark forced to do at this point what is best for his ball club here in a 3-0 game.
Yeah, and all things considered, I mean, obviously not the way he would ideally want to end his career at UTSA, but pretty solid outing, though, in this postseason game for him. Look, holding UCLA to no earned runs. 2 1/3, no earned runs. There was that one unearned and 3 strikeouts. So overall, he's got a lot to be proud of here as he exits here for the final time.
We'll keep it here as Gunnar Brown gets loose here on the top of the 8th inning. Peyton Brennan on first, and it's a 1-0 count to Toussaint Bythewood. A.J. Salgado led it off with a double, and then that whole sequence there with the line drive off of Owens, the error allowing Salgado to score. And so here is Brown, who started the regional final last weekend against Texas. And he was phenomenal. 5 innings of 1-run ball, able to scatter those 6 hits, 2 walks, but he did have 4 strikeouts. So another capable arm out of the bullpen here for UTSA, and he needs to find outs as fast as he can get them. UCLA trying to pounce here to really extend this lead. But for right now, this UTSA offense still has 6 outs to work with. They're within striking distance.
Yeah, this is especially when UCLA gets dangerous. They're willing to be aggressive when they need to, but they're willing to take pitches when they do. Now, that's going to be one thing to consider here as Brown enters the game. 33 innings pitched, 21 walks. So we'll see if he has the control here to keep that runner on first and preferably out of the run column for UTSA.
Not just inheriting the runner on first, but a 1-0 count as well. And out of the stretch, Bythewood tries to bunt, and he gets hit. Trying to turn out of the way. He will be granted first as the fastball comes well inside, and I think it got him on his right hand. And he's going to be okay as he shakes it out. So Brennan advances to second. And that's a tough start since coming into the game for Brown. Perhaps anticipating the bunt and just brought it too far inside. Caitlin Gustafson, the trainer, looking at Bythewood's right hand, which was propping that bat up, and as he pulled away, it got hit on his hand, but right below the bat.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's obviously not a situation of retaliation or anything like that, just a fastball that got away from Brown on the mound, but you hate for that to be your first pitch because, look, first and second, no outs. There's always the opportunity here for UCLA to put down a bunt, have true runners in scoring position, still only have one out.
Cash Duggar at the plate, corner infielders are in. Shortstop holding on the lead runner. Duggar squares and takes outside, ball one. Gunnar Brown, a senior out of Houston. Transferred in this year from Sam Houston after spending a couple of years at the JUCO level. 1 ball, no strikes as he faces Duggar. And he squares, and the catcher puts it down on the left side. Only play for McClure is across to first, and he got him in time. But the sacrifice is executed by Cash Duggar. Brennan to third, Bythewood to second for Phoenix Call.
And that bunt was well placed as well. He put it sort of between third base and the pitcher's mound, tried to push it past the mound, in fact, but third baseman McClure able to get that one quickly and make a 5-3 putout. But again, 2 runners in scoring position here with 1 out.
Phoenix Call with a bunt single today. And now the infield is in for UTSA. Second and third, 1 out. The entire infield on the edge of the infield grass. First pitch to Call is a breaking ball left well upstairs, ball 1.
Now the infield is in, outfield is still playing moderately deep. They're trying to prevent that double in the gap from Phoenix Call.
Right-handed hitter at the plate and a righty on the mound. 1-0 pitch. Slider tapped foul. Bouncing its way to the backstop. Count evens at 1-1. UCLA today 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position after they were 3 for 16 last night. A deep breath from Brown, his 1-1. Slider popped up foul. Out of play on the first base side and landing on the concourse level.
Looked like another slider on that pitch that was on the inside part of the plate. That's 3 in a row, 1-2 count. And they really want to stay soft with him, perhaps get him to roll over on something here, keep that ball in the infield.
Brown getting himself in front, 1-2. Second and third, 1 out in the 8th, 3-0 UCLA. The pitch. Slider, line drive into center field, holding up, making the catch is Lytle. Tagging from third is Brennan. The throw is offline. UCLA extends its lead now 4-0. A sac fly for Phoenix Call.
And Brown on the mound, he went back to that slider. And a good job by Mason Lytle in center field of getting this ball in quickly. But hey, good speed and a good tag from third base there. And so just like that, that's a big run. A 4-run lead going into the bottom of the 8th is the way you want to have it, especially for John Savage in that dugout.
2 runs scored here in the 8th for the Bruins. And as you said, Lytle hurried the throw, but in that hurry, it was way offline, at least 10 feet to the left of the plate. And Brennan scored without a play. Bythewood held at second, so now here is West. 2 gone now in the inning. Brown looking back to Bythewood, comes home. West shows bunt and takes upstairs. Fastball at 92 for ball 1.
And Bythewood at second base also has excellent speed. So a ball that gets to the grass in the outfield, he's going to score.
Both those runs charged to Owens, one of them earned. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball through the back door for a called strike, 1-1. West did not square, and I don't think he agreed with that strike call, just stared down at home plate for several seconds. Now waiting on a 1-1 from Brown. Into the stretch, he throws. Fastball swung on and missed. A challenge pitch there from Brown, and got it by West, 92 miles an hour. It's a ball and 2 strikes now.
Now it's fastball, slider, fastball to now having that 1-2 count. Only one pitch away from getting out of the inning.
West 0 for 2 with a walk and a sacrifice bunt today. And he takes high and outside, 2-2. Another fastball from Brown. UCLA up 4-0. Scoring first back in the 4th inning, another in the 5th, and 2 here in the 8th inning. No pitch. Swing and a foul tip held on by Stuckey. Brought the fastball inside, and that'll end the inning. But UCLA adds 2 runs, one of them unearned. They do it on 2 hits with the 1 error and 1 left on base. Middle of the 8th inning, it's UCLA 4, UTSA nothing.
Pitching change for UCLA, now on the mound for the Bruins, number 30, August Souza.
We go to the last of the 8th inning in Los Angeles. UCLA up 4-0 on UTSA. The Bruins now 6 outs away from Omaha and the College World Series. His bullpen has been fantastic here this weekend. 3 perfect innings last night and 3 more shutout innings today. They have collectively retired 16 of the 17 batters they have faced. And we'll deal with 9-1-2 here for UTSA, which is still searching for its first run today, and their first run since the 2nd inning of Game 1 yesterday. And that'll bring on a new pitcher for UCLA, August Souza, who pitched the 8th last night and was outstanding. And now we've got time called in. I think our plate umpire needs some attention. Plate umpire Eric Gaucher, who took that foul ball off of his mask earlier, is heading to the umpire dressing area, and he looked woozy. He was doubled over. So that is adjacent to UCLA's clubhouse off the left field line. And so a halt in play here before we begin the last of the 8th inning.
And you hope he's all right. I mean, remember in that last inning, he took that foul ball off the helmet, or off of his face mask rather, and was kind of taking an extra quick second. So that was a foul ball that was when Rock Chalowski was up to hit, and it hit off of his face mask, and it looked like he immediately clutched his eyes and was, you remember, was sort of clutching at that area below his ears on his jaw. And so you hope it's worst case, not a concussion or something like that, but hopefully he'll be all right and is able to come back in. But at the moment, currently the field is empty. No one is on the field. UCLA and the defense back in the dugout, and they're going to give some time here. John Savage just having a quick little chat with his team in the dugout.
And that sequence happened back in the 7th inning. That was a little while ago when that took place, more than 30 minutes ago. And so perhaps just now starting to really feel some of the effects of that. And so he is back in the umpire's locker room dressing area. Athletic trainer on out there as well. Site rep also looking on. So we are in a holding pattern here, adding to the drama a little bit. UCLA 5-2 winners last night, up 4-0 here today, on the verge of getting to the College World Series for the first time in 12 years. But right now, we need our home plate umpire to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, coupled with that, and Braylon Owens obviously taking that comebacker right back up the mound on that Peyton Brennan single in the last half inning. Baseball has become a contact sport here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. But certainly, the rest of the fans are all just here hanging out.
Well, at least it's a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. The June gloom gave way to plenty of sunshine here in the afternoon. It was overcast, even slightly drizzly to start the day, but not a cloud in the sky now. So you've still got the concession stand open. You've got plenty of sunshine overhead, and we will wait and see. And just getting some word, I think the plan may be to operate with 3 umpires moving forward. Get somebody else behind the plate for Eric Gaucher and resume this ball game with just 3 umpires.
Yeah, and in yesterday's game, the home plate umpire was the current third base umpire, who is Derek Mojica. So I guess we'll see who ends up shifting over to the home plate umpiring position, assuming that's even the case. We don't totally know at the moment, but it seems as if the plan might be leaning in that direction to finish this game off with 3 umpires, especially considering we're almost at the conclusion of this one, given that we're just about to enter the bottom of the 8th.
So we do know that UCLA is going to bring on Souza to pitch here. August Souza pitched the 8th inning yesterday and was emphatic in that role for the Bruins. Souza with a couple of strikeouts as he faced the top of the lineup. He's going to deal with some of those same guys whenever we resume here momentarily. But for right now, we are stopped before we can begin the last of the 8th inning. 4-0. Bruins in front of UTSA. The Roadrunners having the best season in their program's history at 47 wins, getting to the Supers for the first time, winning an NCAA tournament game for the first time ever to get to this weekend. They've got the most come-from-behind victories in Division I, and they're hoping to do that here over the next 6 outs and try to send up a decisive Game 3. Sid Iyer, you were just talking to one of UCLA's representatives. Did you get any information on what the plan is here?
Yeah, so it seems as if we're leaning in the direction of going with 3 umpires. And what would happen is that it would be likely that the crew chief of the umpiring crew today would be Mike Morris, would likely move into the home plate umpiring spot. But apparently what had happened is that home plate umpire Eric Gaucher, after the conclusion of that inning,
top of the 7th.
At the top of the 7th.
Right after he got hit.
Right. He got hit. But at this half inning, in the middle of the 8th, he apparently just said, I'm done. And I guess maybe was dealing with the effects of that comebacker right to his face mask. And so he ended up going to, the umpire changing room on the left there by the clubhouse. And so it's still not 100% if that's going to be the case, that Mike Morris, the first base umpire, is going to lean in and be the home plate umpire, but it seems very likely that we're going to go with 3 for the rest of the game.
Well, if Eric O'Shea is saying he's done, then I'm not sure there's another option moving forward here for this game. There is one other one going on, and it's a runaway. Arkansas in front of Tennessee, 10-1 in the top of the 8th inning, so the Hogs are on the verge of advancing to the College World Series. If current score lines hold, You're talking about UCLA and then Arkansas each punching tickets. LSU and West Virginia are scheduled to start at 4 o'clock. LSU winning game 1 yesterday. And then Florida State and Oregon State, they're playing tonight at 6. That's a game 3 winner take all for another spot in the College World Series. We know we will have one game 3 tomorrow, Murray State at Duke, for potentially the final spot. Keeping our eyes toward that left field corner where the umpire's dressing area is. And still no movement in that direction. So everyone just hanging out here before the last of the 8th inning, and so are we. Glad you're with us, and thought we might talk about this a little bit at the conclusion of this game if UCLA did in fact win. There's a lot of uncertainty, as every Bruin fan knows, about the future of this ballpark. There's a decent chance that these could be the last games played here. The lease runs through July 4th. If you've kept up with UCLA, you know that there's been back and forth between UCLA, the VA, who they leased the stadium from. Judge got involved last fall. They reached an agreement to play this season here. But as far as long-term playing here at Jackie Robinson Stadium, that, for the time being, is up in the air. So, for right now, we don't know. These could very well be the last games played here. And so that kind of underscores this whole weekend here for UCLA and Bruin fans. They certainly hope that they will be going to the College World Series in Omaha. But certainly, perhaps a little bittersweet knowing you may not walk in here again.
And I think that's the unease of it, is that we don't know. I mean, also just to consider the history of the ballpark. Look, it's been open since 1980. And of course, the first game that was played on this field was an exhibition between UCLA and the Dodgers. And then just to think about how you started from there, and obviously this program has had so many historic players come in. Of course, the namesake of the stadium, Jackie Robinson, number 42, and the relevance of that in today's world, but also just in UCLA history as a four-sport letterman, and obviously the contributions he had to UCLA baseball. And so there's a lot here that, you know, I think obviously if this game continues going as is and UCLA makes it to Omaha, we'll see if that kind of changes the discourse around this stadium and perhaps what we'll do. But, I mean, it is a little bit bittersweet to your point to think that, hey, at least we're not sure if we're going to be back here next season.
Certainly hope that there is some sort of agreement that would satisfy all parties to continue playing baseball here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. Just a terrific setting, even here into June, where many parts of the country, heck, just over the hill, can get pretty hot. It is still perfect here. Temperatures in the 70s as we continue to stand by here before the last of the 8th. UCLA leading UTSA 4-0, 6 outs away from Omaha. But our plate umpire, Eric Gaucher, who took some contact to his mask earlier in the ballgame back in the 7th, reportedly needing to leave the field. And so this has been, did not start my timer when this whole thing began, but at least 10 minutes, if not closer to 15.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. And, I mean, the main thing I'm thinking is hopefully he's okay, because to consider that he was out there for another whole inning after taking that to the face. And it does seem as if the umpires are starting to walk back.
And we've got we've got an umpire who now has the pads on, and he's ready to go. So second base umpire Travis Carlson is going to be behind the plate. He is making his way down to the field now, and we will operate with a 3-man umpiring crew for the rest of this game.
And after a bit of a break, now the UCLA defense headed back to the infield and the outfield to get loose here for the start of the bottom of the 8th. But you have to wonder, hey, that's a bit of a break. Now, of course, August Souza is the pitcher coming in for the Bruins, so he would be coming in as a fresh pitcher. But for UTSA, look, again, it's a 4-0 game, no runs on 4 hits, and they got to get something going. So at least for now, we can get the game going again, and warm-ups are starting back up again. But a lot at stake. I mean, look, the tension is still kind of high considering, I guess, a lot of contact that's happened in this game.
So the top of the 8th ended at 2:53. It is now 3:05, so by the time we get going, it will be close to a 15-minute delay here in Los Angeles. So you will have Travis Carlson behind the plate, in from second. Mike Norris will continue at first, and Derek Malika at third. So it is August Souza coming on. Talked about him last night and the improvements he has made throughout the course of the season. And he has been outstanding as UCLA has put him in this 8th inning set-up role. Lights out here in the postseason.
Yeah, he's been very good. In fact, he came in yesterday, to your point, only threw 10 pitches, but wow, he was very effective. 1 inning pitch, 2 strikeouts. There's a reason why last year he was on the Stopper of the Year watch list. John Savage likes going to him, and he's a very interesting pitcher. Now, in terms of, who he is on the mound, look, right-handed pitcher with a high 3/4 to overhand release. Pretty solid fastball that you'll see get into the 90s pretty easily, and he couples that with a slider that'll move away from right-handed hitters. So here we are about to start the 8th inning, and UTSA's got to get something going against a pretty solid pitcher.
4-0 UCLA, and we will now start the bottom of the 8th. 9-1-2 in the lineup for UTSA. Stuckey, McClure, and Lytle against August Souza, who has allowed 2 runs over the last 7 1/3 innings pitched. And the 8th inning is his, and we anticipate Easton Hawk once more in the 9th, and in fact he is getting loose in the bullpen now. But first, it is Souza here in the 8th against Stuckey. First pitch fastball is outside for ball 1. So Travis Carlson now calling balls and strikes, and that's just an interesting wrinkle. You've got presumably maybe a different strike zone being called, as that one is well off the outside. 2 balls and no strikes. And at the same time for Souza, you got yourself completely loose, ready to go. Had to shut it all down for 10 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot, but then you got to ramp it back up again.
And that can be challenging on the mound. I mean, just staying loose. It is a warm day, though. So
2 balls, no strikes out of the stretch. There's a slider at the knees for a strike. 2-1.
Yeah, and just to complete that thought, I mean, look, having any amount of time, 5 minutes can just throw you off sometimes in a routine, especially with how routine-heavy pitchers are. I mean, at least these first couple of pitches, he's looking good, but we'll see how he can pare down that slider in the zone.
A deep breath, his 2-1. Another slider, and it's off the outside. 3-1 to Stuckey, who has struck out and been hit by a pitch.
And in fact, speaking of that slider, in that outing in yesterday's game, he threw almost exclusively sliders.
UTSA has not had a hit since the 4th inning. Take a base runner anyway. There's a slider on the outside, a called strike 2, and Stuckey thought it was off the plate. He took a couple steps towards first, but now he's got to get back in the right-handed batter's box.
And that's that adjustment you were talking about with the new strike zone. You got to get used to how Carlson now behind the plate's going to call these.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Souza's pitch hit him on the arm, brought the slider in. That is the second time that that Stuckey has been hit by a pitch. Does UCLA want a challenge for leaning into it? Yes, they do.
Yeah, and I mean, that was immediate. Even from my view up here, you kind of saw him as he took that hit by pitch. He took it on that elbow guard he's got in the right-handed box on his left arm. But almost immediately, Cash Duggar, the catcher for the Bruins, he motioned to his dugout trying to get that challenge.
So it will be Carlson and Mike Norris, the crew chief at first base, over to communicate with the centralized crew in Pittsburgh, and we're getting our first look at the replay on the in-house feed, and oh yeah, my goodness, did he stick that chicken wing out there.
Absolutely. Now, it was a pitch that was up and in for sure, but he very much turned his back towards the plate, but he kind of angled his arm to allow that ball to make contact with his elbow guard in particular. So, using that as a shield. So very much so. I mean, we'll see how they come up with a review, but it's very obvious from here that he leaned in.
I mean, they ought to overturn this, and that would be strike 3.
Yep. But yet another break here as we are here in the later part of this game. August Souza on the mound is just taking some warm-up pitches because, of course, that 15-minute break we talked about came in through, maybe like 6 pitches. And then, you know, another break here, but now umpiring crew, at least 3 of them. And so that's home plate umpire Travis Carlson. And I believe it would be Derek Moika, right?
It's Mike Morris. He's the crew chief at first over
right
there talking with Pittsburgh. So, you know, you get a little leeway, you know, you get kind of that natural movement in your swing as you load up. That gives you a little leeway to bring that elbow forward, but that was not a natural load up there from Astuki. He threw the chicken wing out. And so this ought to be strike 3. And instead of a leadoff man aboard for UTSA, we anticipate this being out number 1. 4-0 UCLA here in the last of the 8th. And this inning has taken, 45 minutes probably, going back to the top of the 8th inning. A lot of lulls here in Game 2 of the LA Super Regional. And we are about to get the call here momentarily. Mike Norris jogging out to the middle of the field. Here's the call. Intentionally got hit by the pitch. He is out. Strike 3. And Stuckey will have to hang his head walking back to the dugout. Out number 1 here in the 8th. Officially goes in the scorebook as a strikeout for Souza.
And, I mean, hey, this game just gets more and more interesting. A lot at stake, but I guess that would be technically a dead ball strike, right, in terms of a strikeout?
It goes in as a strikeout looking. So now 5 outs left for UTSA. Top of the lineup, here's McClure. And the left-handed hitter looks at a fastball for strike 1 from Souza. Got that over the plate at 93. Infield and outfield shaded a pull against the left-handed hitter, who is 1 for 3 with a double. 0-1. And that is yanked foul on the ground, out in front of the slider. And Souza in front of McClure, 0-2.
And to illustrate the fact with Souza, he's only thrown 2 fastballs. First pitch here, and then first pitch in that previous at-bat, all sliders otherwise.
Chalowski behind second and just to the left of the bag. Call in shallow right field at second. Lavu hugging the line at first. Outfield very deep against McClure. 0-2 pitch is grounded to the left side. Martin to his left, got it. Spins, throws, on the money and on time. 2 away in the 8th inning.
Roman Martin having the range of a shortstop there. He quite literally was fielded that ball right where shortstop Rock Chalowski would have. And I mean, couple that with being able to get to the ball, that range, and being able to make that spin and an accurate fire to first base, heck of a play.
So bases clear, 2 away, and that'll bring up Lytle. 2 strikeouts and a single today for the Conference Player of the Year in the American. First pitch from Souza. Fastball down low, ball 1. These two faced each other last night. Souza got a strikeout. Souza, his 1-0. Slider whipping off the outside. Quickly 2 balls and no strikes.
Yet another at-bat where Souza started off with that fastball, and then he kind of sits back on that slider. He relies on that, and when he throws that for a strike and when he's really on, it'll start middle, and it'll end off the plate.
The righty set for a 2-0. He kicks and throws. There's a slider catching the outside. A called strike, 2-1. This UTSA offense has been quieted this weekend, scoring about 9 runs per game, 12th in the nation. But nothing doing here in Game 2. Slider poked foul on the ground towards that first base dugout, manned by UTSA. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Roadrunners have only been shut out twice previously this season, both coming back in the first week of the year. Once against UT Arlington, another against Baylor. 2-2 pitch from Souza is down and away, and now the count is full. Four to nothing Bruins, last of the 8th. Souza looking for a 1-2-3 frame. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The righty set, he throws. Inside swing and a miss, got him to chase on a slider, and that'll end the inning.
And he went back to that slider one more time. This time it was on the inside part of the plate. A nice swing and miss. And so August Souza making the most of the breaks in that inning and staying in this game. And that's huge as UCLA heads here back into the dugout for the 9th.
We go to the 9th inning. UCLA will look to pad some insurance, leading 4-0 on UTSA when we return.
Next level right there, next level. Huck that.
We go to the 9th inning in Los Angeles. UCLA a 4-0 lead, and potentially their final swings here in Game 2 of the Super Regional. They took Game 1 over UTSA last night 5-2, and a 4-zip advantage here with the heart of the order. Rock Chalowski, Levi Lavu, and Roman Martin 2 up as Gunnar Brown continues for UTSA. Bruins trying to get to the College World Series for the 6th time in program history, and the first since they won it all back in 2013. Brown having to readjust his pitch comm and his hat, and now getting himself fully situated on the mound. His toes pointed towards the third base line, into his motion, and there's an over-the-top breaking ball for strike one into Chalowski, who is 2 for 4 today with a run driven in. The pitch outside, again, that over-the-top breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was Connor Miles who started this game for UTSA, allowing 2 runs in 4 2/3. Then Braylon Owens going 2 1/3 as the pitch is down and outside once more. Another breaking ball, 2-1 to Chalowski.
And they've been pretty cautious here with Chalowski. He was pretty swing happy earlier in the game on an early fastball.
A nod on the mound from Brown. Now kicks and throws. And it's lifted high in the air by Chalowski. Shallow right field. Back from second is Ballin. He will defer to Tausig. The right fielder makes the catch for the first out here in the top of the 9th inning.
That's a big first out on the mound for Brown. Look, Chalowski, arguably best hitter in the lineup. But, of course, you're going through the heart of the order. You're facing 2 of the other best hitters in this lineup here in the 9th, and you want to keep this lead exactly where it is. Currently a 4-0 game.
That'll bring up Lavu, who has reached twice on a pair of walks. Also reached on a fielder's choice. 0 for 2 all told. And the pitch is outside, 1-0. Fastball off the plate from Brown. UCLA with their 4 runs on 10 hits, 1 error, 9 left aboard. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball down low. 2 balls and no strikes to Lavu. UTSA held scoreless so far on 4 hits, 2 errors, and 5 left on base. 2 balls, no strikes, and the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. That one over the outer half at 91, and Lavu looked to be a little bit tardy. 2-1 the count. Brown quickly into his motion. And that one is bounced into right field, base hit. Right in the 3-4 hole, Levi Lavu has a 1-out single, his first base knock of the ball game.
And the first baseman, Moresi there, he was playing closer to the right field line on the infield, so that ball just kind of got through that hole, as you mentioned, and he didn't even try and dive for this one. I mean, look, it was just hit hard enough to get through quickly barreled it, and it was a fastball down at the knees, and he's got that lefty kind of golf swing and was able to spin that one out into right field for a single.
1 on and 1 out now for Roman Martin, who is 2 for 4. Up to 11 hits now for UCLA. And the slider lobbed in for a strike. 10 hits yesterday for the Bruins in their win, 11 more today. Shift on for Martin, 3 to the left of second. Fastball fouled off to the right, and it's 0-2. In fact, I should say the second baseman Ballin, he is just right behind the bag at second. And now on an 0-2 pitch coming, he will take a few paces to the right side of the bag now. Breeze blowing out towards right center. Here on the top of the 9th, Bruins in front, 4-0. Brown holding set, and his 0-2 is popped out of the glove, and LaVue takes off for second. Pitch up and in. Wasn't sure if that maybe clipped Martin a little bit, but it was just a clean drop by Stuckey.
Yeah,
a pass ball.
Looks like it just popped out of his glove. It was a high fastball up and away into the lefty batter's box, and he just couldn't squeeze it.
So 1-2 to Martin. And now a runner in scoring position. Still just the 1 out. Brown checks on LaVue, comes home, and that's inside outed. Foul ground, first base side, and that'll get out of play. Into that UTSA bullpen down the first base line. Still 1-2 to Martin. A run in the 4th, another in the 5th, and 2 runs in the 8th for UCLA. That is all the scoring we have had today. These two teams combined score about 17 runs per game. That's been relatively low scoring this weekend. 1-2, and another foul out of play from Martin. Again on the right side. Healthy cut there on a slider down around the knees.
Now it'll be pitch number 6 coming up, and Martin doing a good job of just sticking in there on this 1-2 count. This will be the 3rd pitch with a 1-2 count.
LaVue in scoring position for him on second. Brown delivers, and he hit him. Fastball coming right in on the back of the arm, and Martin is aboard. First and second, 1 out now for UCLA. Brown's got to be careful to not let this lead swell.
And I mean, look, it doesn't hurt him a whole lot at the moment. Look, with 1 out, and he had a base open at first, so it does set up the double play. So the middle infield now, that's Hodge at shortstop and Ballin at second, are now playing moderately towards the middle. At least Hodge is. Ballin actually is playing towards the right side hole for this lefty hitter coming up.
That is A.J. Salgado, 2 on, 1 out. 4-run lead for UCLA. Brown's pitch is high and outside for ball 1. Straight fastball at 91 miles an hour. Salgado with a double last time up. That was right at the third baseman. McClure went off his glove and down the left field line. He's 1 for 4, is Salgado. This pitch further off the outside, a breaking ball, easily taken to run the count to 2-0.
And with that, that's 28 pitches, and he's right at 50% in terms of strikes. He hasn't done a good job of getting that first pitch strike in, and it's kind of affecting him.
Salgado waiting on a 2-0. Here it comes. Again, it's outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
And look, if you're Salgado now, take ball 4 if you can get it. But, I mean, considering how wild he has been, you just keep taking until you get to a full count, unless you get something perfect.
Stepping a little closer to the plate now is Salgado. And the pitch is high, ball 4. So back-to-back freebies from Gunnar Brown. That'll load the bases.
That's 5 in a row that he has thrown out of the zone. So traditional knowledge there suggests that, hey, with Peyton Brennan coming up now, lefty hitter, he's going to be taken until he receives a strike, especially with the bases loaded, because you would love to get some run production without even having to swing the bat.
3 on, 1 out here in the top of the 9th. And the Bruins trying to break it open and make the bottom of the ninth as drama-free as possible. Brennan settles in from the left side of the plate. He is 2 for 3. And he takes a slider on the outside for a strike. Well, Brennan hit that screaming line drive last time up that hit Braylon Owens, the previous pitcher for UTSA, and ultimately forced him out of the game. Now there's a line drive base hit to left field. In comes LaVue, steaming behind him Martin. The relay cut off, and UCLA now leads 6-0. Peyton Brennan plates a pair with a base knock to left field.
Went opposite field on that one, but I mean, hey, he's just following up on that hard hit single he had just recently. I mean, this ball was just a pitch on the lower outside portion of the plate, and he took it the other way over the third baseman McClure, and the UCLA crowd here erupting in that UCLA chant as they now have a 6-run lead, and they've still got room to grow here with that only 1 out and a runner on first and second.
And a smile from Brennan as he measures out his lead off of first. He has been red hot since the beginning of the Big Ten tournament. And now here's Toussaint Bythewood. 2 on, 1 out still, and he fouls the first pitch, backing out of play.
That was an aggressive first swing. I mean, a fastball right over the middle of the plate. Bythewood wanted that one.
He's 1 for 3 today, driving in a run with a single back in the 4th inning. And Brown hit him on the first pitch he threw when he came in the 8th inning. 0-1. And that skips into the dirt, blocked by Stuckey, but Salgado jumps on the opportunity. He advances from second to third. Brennan holds at first, now on the corners with 1 out.
Yeah, and Salgado right on that, had a pretty good lead and a pretty good jump. And that ball just got a little bit to the right of Stuckey behind the plate.
Things starting to fall off here for UTSA. And they've got a righty getting loose in the bullpen as Brown is still looking for a second out. Misses inside with the slider, 2-1. Kind of hangs his head a little bit looking home, desperate to get that strike call.
Yeah, Brown is definitely struggling here to find the zone, but also a lot of pitches that he has thrown. He's already up to 35 pitches as time's called, as ball from the bullpen looks like it made it out onto the field. But to kind of complete my point there about Brown, I mean, like, look, 35 pitches thrown, under half of those pitches are strikes. And of course, UCLA taking advantage of those free passes and certainly pitches left in the middle of the zone.
2-1 the count. And the pitch is chopped foul up the third base line. 2-2 now to Bythewood. Another slider there and just on top of it.
And in fact, he's only thrown fastballs and sliders, but that fastball is the one where he's not able to get it into the zone. So we're seeing him here relying on that breaking ball here 3 in a row, because that's really the only pitch he's got working for him at the moment.
6-0 UCLA in the top of the ninth. First and third, 1 out. And a 2-2 pitch. Check swing, missed, runner going. Brennan down to second. He is in there safely. Hodge had to leap into the air to keep the ball on the infield, went tumbling down. A little bit slow to get up here as he calls for time. But Brennan has a stolen base, now 2 in scoring position. A full count now at the plate. As that pitch didn't miss by much.
No, it was
Bythewood.
No, it was like right on the zone. But for Stuckey to try and make that throw out on that steal at second base, look, on and off speed pitch, and of course a good jump there off of first.
I beg your pardon, it was actually Ballin, not Hodge, who made the leap.
And there was no contact on that slide with Brennan, the runner, who is credited with the stolen base, but he had to dive almost laterally to get this one full separation from the ground, and he might have fallen on either his wrist, maybe his left wrist, as he was catching that ball and trying to cushion his fall there.
What an athletic play from Ballin. He actually leapt into the air. He extended his legs in either direction so he did not collide with Brennan, make any contact at all. I mean, he should do some hurdles with that kind of leaping ability, but he does come down hard on that glove hand wrist, his left hand there. Gets checked out, and he's going to stay in there, but now a full count, second and third, one out. Bythewood waiting on Brown. Here's the pitch. And it's a slow bouncer on the right side. That'll score a run. Brown underhand flips to first for the out, the second out of the inning. But touching home plate is A.J. Salgado. A productive ground out for Toussaint Bythewood to make it 7-0 UCLA. Peyton Brennan advances over to third on the sequence.
And a bit of a swinging bunt, but maybe the equivalent of a safety squeeze. Look, he just hit it down the first base line, and pretty easy put out there, 3 unassisted. Nice little put out.
So UCLA has taken what was a 4-0 lead at the start of the inning and starting to pull away a little bit. Cash Duggar sends the first pitch high into the air to center field. It's tracked down by Lytle, and that'll end the inning. UCLA adds 3 runs on 2 hits. They strand a runner, and they are 3 outs away from going back to the College World Series for the first time in 12 years. Back for the bottom of the 9th. After this, the Bruins 7, the Roadrunners nothing.
Pitching change for UCLA. Now on the mound, number 27, Easton Hall.
We go to the last of the 9th inning here at Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. UCLA on the verge of punching its ticket to Omaha. They lead UTSA 7-0, and they will pass the baton to Easton Hawk to get the final 3 outs of the Super Regional and try and put down UTSA, which will have 3, 4, and 5 in the order here. Tausig, Moresi, and Miller. Bruins bidding for what would be a 6th shutout in their NCAA tournament history, something they have not done since they won it all in 2013, the clincher against Mississippi State. And UTSA has been shut out twice this year, and this potentially a 3rd if they could not scratch together a run. But as Hawk gets loosened up, have to quickly shout out what the bullpen has done for UCLA this weekend. As it stands, so far 7 no-hit innings. They have faced the minimum as well over those 7 innings. The only base runners, a couple of hit batters.
I mean, it's been incredible watching, just handing the baton to the next guy. And I mean, that's what you want in a college team. It's what you want in any team. And now they hand it off to Easton Hawk, who is usually the closer, but he's in here to just get these final 3 outs, and he can get that fastball up to 97. Couples it with a slider that he'll rely on too. Starts in the windup, and here we go.
He went 3 up, 3 down to finish off the win yesterday. And against James Tausig, he misses the inside corner for ball 1, and that one very close. 96 miles an hour there on the fastball. Tausig 0 for 3. 1-0 is a slow line drive caught by Chalowski at short. He was playing behind the bag at second. And that was a soft liner. He just came in and to his right, 1 away in the 9th inning.
And that's exactly how you want to do it. 2 pitches, soft contact. 2 more to go.
So that'll bring up Moresi. 0 for 2 with a walk. Left-handed hitter, infield to pull. And the first pitch is outside from Hawk. Now's a changeup there for ball one. Hawks 1-0 pitch. Down and in, a fastball there. 2 balls and no strikes. UTSA has not had a hit since the 4th inning. Only base runners, a couple of hit batters. UCLA as a staff in this series has issued just 1 walk. 2-0 fastball, that's there at the knees. Over the inner half for a called strike, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Just off the inside, 3-1. Travis Carlson a little bit stingy with that inside corner.
Yeah, it looked like it was an 89-mile-per-hour pitch, perhaps a changeup that he wanted on the inside part, just wouldn't get the call.
Favorable count for Moresi, 3-1. Grounded to the right side, Lavue's got it. He will flip to Hawk covering in plenty of time for out number 2. And UCLA is 1 out away. The Bruin fans rise to their feet here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. The dugout all onto its feet. Smiles all the way around. They can sense it now. 7-0 Bruins here in the last of the 9th inning. And Caden Miller representing the final out for UTSA. Bases clear, 2 outs. And the first pitch from Hawk is at the knees for a strike. A changeup. 0-1. Miller is 1 for 3 today. His pitching staff has been emphatic all season long and getting better here in the postseason as Hawk misses outside, 1-1. This is a UTSA offense that has scored 9 runs per game. They have been held to just 2 in this series. 1-1. Hawk kicks and throws. Breaking ball down and in. 2 balls and a strike. Went to the slider that time. Left-handed hitter in the defense shaded to the pull side. Both the infield and the outfield. 2-1, spiked in. Fastball got away from him. 3-1 now as Hawk faces Miller with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Bruins leading 7-0.
And he got that first pitch fastball in, but 3 straight balls. Fastball, slider, fastball. Just got to get back into the zone here. Only 1 pitch away, though.
Freshman looking for his biggest out to date. He throws, swing and a miss, strike 2. A belt-high fastball blew it by him at 97 miles per hour. And UTSA is down to its final strike. UCLA in front, 7-0 here in the 9th. 2 outs. The 3-2 pitch from Hawk. Off the inside, ball 4. The ball game will continue. 98 there from Hawk, and he does not get the call. Miller is aboard.
And he wanted that last one to be the final one here in LA. That was the I want to send my team to Omaha pitch. Just missed the inside part of the plate. Home plate umpire Travis Carlson didn't quite give it to him, so now he'll be in the stretch. Runner on first, so he does have the 4 set up at first and second. But again, 1 pitch away from ending this one.
Now here is the right-handed slugger, Drew Detlefson. And a wave at it. Did he go? Yes. Slider off the outside, and Detlefson could not check his swing. Mike Morris at first rings him up. It's 0-1. Detlefson 0 for 3 today, although robbed of a base hit earlier. There's a swing and a miss. Out in front of the slider. It's 0-2. And once again, UTSA down to its final strike.
That's 2 sliders in a row, so he can go anything right now with an 0-2 count.
1 on, 2 outs in the 9th. 0-2 pitch, down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another slider from Hawk. UCLA with plenty of room to operate here, leading 7-0. Everybody on their feet here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. Hawks 1-2, slider fouled off.
That's 4 in a row, 4 sliders in a row. Again, 1 and 2 count. So, look, that fastball, as we've talked about, he's getting it up to 98. So he's got a couple of options still.
Operating out of the stretch. He delivers. Down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That one was 99 miles per hour.
Fastest one we have seen this weekend. UTSA not going down without a fight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 on, 2 outs, and the pitch. Slider just outside. Full count now.
And I mean, could you ask for it any other way? I mean, a perfect pitch. You can't really ask for much more on a 2-strike count.
Back-to-back full counts for Hawk. Here's his 3-2. Slider popped him up. Right side. Shallow right field. Phoenix call underneath. He makes the catch. And UCLA is on their way to Omaha. For the 6th time in program history and the first in 12 years, the Bruins are in the College World Series. UCLA stays perfect here in the postseason. A perfect 5-0 here at Jackie Robinson Stadium to punch their ticket to Omaha, Nebraska. And the team celebrating out in center field as Phoenix Call collects that final out. The Bruins with a 7-0 win over UTSA to take the Super Regionals in 2 games.
And I mean, talk about a well-rounded team. I mean, everything that you could want from a team winning the regionals to winning the Super Regionals to now heading to Omaha, they did basically everything right. I mean, to finish and clinch the Super Regionals here at home, here in Los Angeles, here at Jackie Robinson Stadium on a shutout, showcasing both, hey, the pitching side, that bullpen absolutely nails the entire weekend, arguably the whole postseason. And then that offense, 7 runs on 12 hits. And those runs were dispersed throughout the game. I mean, look, they scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings. And hey, that's just exactly what you want from your team as you head to Omaha and you try and get yourself a College World Series title.
It is the 6th shutout for UCLA in postseason history, and the first since that clinching game for the 2013 National Championship. And they get it done today, 7-0. And a very classy move. John Savage getting everybody back towards the plate to shake hands with UTSA. What a season it was for the Roadrunners, the best in program history. And in the history of team sports for all of UTSA athletics, the most successful season that they have had. A remarkable run for the Roadrunners. But it is UCLA going 2-0 here in the Supers to go to Omaha for the first time in a dozen years. You thought it was going to happen in 2019 when they had all that talent, were the #1 overall seed. They were upset here on their home field that year by Michigan. And 6 years later, they finally get back to the Supers, and emphatic here this weekend. And even extending back to the regionals, they have left little doubt that they've been the best team in this portion of the bracket and have earned every bit to get to Omaha. Chris Grotus has the large ticket and now being hoisted into the air by Roman Martin. The Bruins going back to Omaha. Brock Chalowski just putting on the Super Regional Champs hat. He gets asked often, why did you come to school? You would have been a first-round draft pick out of high school. And he has talked about, after his senior year, his father took him to the College World Series 2 years ago. And it was that experience that Brock Chalowski said, I want to go to school so I can experience this myself. And I want it to be with UCLA. I want to take UCLA to the College World Series. And certainly this has been a total team effort, but Rock Chalowski is at the top when you talk about